Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome to the Shanni Show and to another interview episode. It's a fucking bomb-ass interview. Let me just tell you, it was with the one and only Adam Levy, aka Roothless in the poker world. And we go on for over 2 hours about so many different things. It was just such a great conversation. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, send it, buy a carrier pigeon. Do whatever it is that you need to do to get the word out there about this show, because we are starting everything from the ground up right now, people. All of my socials, they began at 0. We're at the floor. So if you will please just sweep my floor, just sweep my floor, and let's rise together. It's going to be a great time. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the episode and let us know what you think. Good
Sounds
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
I like this. I really do like the headphones. They're crisp.
Headphones are so much nicer. Also,
Yeah.
I have my family is out there, so they might make some noise. So I feel like this way we can't hear them. And
There you go.
The riffraff of the Suissa house. Wait, so you're my first in-studio guest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
This is so exciting. Adam Levy Roothless. I'm going to do you an intro before, but first of all, we've been friends for a while now, almost like a year, basically, because of Clubhouse. And I don't actually know how the fuck you got into poker. I want to hear your origin story. It doesn't have to be deep. I just want to know, like, how old were you? Were you instantly obsessed?
I mean, I'm kind of a little bit of a long form guy.
Oh, there's no short form to this?
I mean, I can try to shorten it, but like also the way that I got in is actually like a really sick, like, I was so close to not making it in poker multiple times.
Okay, let's go then.
Okay.
Long form. I want to hear the story.
All right, so basically, like, I failed out of college, like UCF, Central Florida. I went there. It was a deer in the headlights. There, like, I joined a fraternity, and I'm like, I'm gonna do fine, blah blah, like all this stuff. So like immediately after 2 semesters straight, like I actually failed by 1 letter grade. Asked the comp sci guy to like help me.
Yeah.
He was like, no.
Oh,
And then I was
fuck,
like,
that's
I'm
so
just
mean.
out. Yeah, I'm just out. And so I had to
Wait, so 1 class, 1 letter grade is what made you fail?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
and it's like those small kind of margins like changed my life because after that my parents were like, you need to get a job, like blah blah blah. So I was working at 3 different like Olive Gardens, and I trained. And one
free
day,
breadsticks. That's kind of nice. No?
yeah, but I went up to like Gainesville and was working up there.
Okay.
In that's UF.
Yeah, Gainesville. My uncle went to Gainesville.
Yeah.
He's like a big Gainesville guy.
Yeah, the Gators.
Yeah.
And so I was still very irresponsible. And I lost my Olive Garden job up there, which was super cushy. Like I was really like, I was going to Santa Fe Community College, and I was like doing well. I was on Adderall, I was actually had like I had like a 3.1 like GPA. I was like, wow, look at this. We're doing it. And then I just didn't wake up for work. He was like, you're a great worker, but we're letting you go because you just don't show up for shifts at 12 o'clock.
As in, was this a regular thing or one shift you didn't
No,
wake up
this was
for?
like 4 or 5 times where I was like,
okay.
my bad, and my parents were like, yeah, that's Adam. So then there was this lame duck period in 2003, like the summer, where I couldn't find a job. And my parents were like, you just got to come home. Like, you're going broke. Like, you can't sustain yourself. Come home. But it was like August it was like, and I was like, August 10th. So I had like 20 days left.
Yeah.
So in those 20 days, I played Magic the Gathering for a long time.
Right.
Like,
This is that card game that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Pokemon, but like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like before that. So all my Magic friends would start like all of a sudden just start playing poker. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just want to play Magic. I'm a nerd. Let me do that. And they're like, no, we're playing poker for money. So I started playing, and
Is
like,
Magic not for money?
I mean, you can play it for money, but like not like the stakes of poker where you can play like 1,000, And so that happened, and I learned poker for a little bit, was really bad at it. And then I come home to South Florida and live with my family, and all of a sudden, all my Magic friends down in South Florida are playing poker.
Okay.
And then I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Okay.
You know? And I don't know,
How many Magic the Gathering friends did you have?
I mean, Florida, dude, I was deep in the Magic the Gathering. I actually was really close to the Pro Tour. Like I qualified for like the pro level.
There's a Pro Tour for Magic the Gathering?
Oh, yeah.
Holy fucking shit. I don't think I realized what this was.
Go down that rabbit hole. It still exists.
Is it bigger than Dungeons and Dragons?
I mean, it's on the same level. I'd say it's been around for like 28 years now.
All right.
So, I mean, anyways, I end up like going down and meeting all my friends, and they're just like, we're playing poker also. Like, okay. And one of them is literally one of the best Magic players in the world to this day. He'll like go on Twitch and still stream and get like thousands.
Can we get a name drop? Who is this?
Ben Stark.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was kind of the leader of like Florida Magic because, when you're so good, people like listen to you, it kind of trickles down. And we would play poker because he started playing and he learned it from being on the Pro Tour. And, he ran some games, this and that. And I just like failed at that forever. And then...
What is forever? Like how long were you failing at that? Okay.
6 months.
Okay.
And 21-year-old kid, it feels like forever. And I literally so I started, there was this thing... This is absurd. This is this thing you could do back in the day with banks, like debit cards. It would take 2 days to post. So I would hook up my account. Great. This is DGen. This is real DGen. You hear DGens like in like this is poker's fucking DGen. So I would get authorizations for like $1,000 to put in my party poker account.
Okay.
If I got a green light, I would like. It was either you went green or red, so you would see like how much, like before they were like, no more you can put in. So I would put in $1,000, and I'd be like, oh well, I got 2 days to make that money back, and it would just be me degenning and then ultimately losing. And after like a few months of doing that, party poker started calling like my mom's our house.
Oh shit!
And they were like collectors because now in poker, like it's not really regulated in the U.S., so they can't really do it as much. Okay. But I maxed out my credit cards, maxed out everything, was going broke, and eventually my parents were like, we need to talk to you. We're gonna have a dinner, and I knew it was like gonna be like an intervention kind of thing.
Yeah.
That day, I won a tournament for $6,000.
Oh fuck! Wait, what?
Yeah.
What a great day to win the tournament.
I had $109 left. I put it in and won a tournament for $6,000 to pay off my debts. And I like in poker they call it slow roll, where like you kind of like sandbag, where you don't really you just at the end you just kind of say, oh, I actually had this really good hand. Psych. Like you thought you were gonna win, but no. So I slow rolled them, where they were like, Adam, like you got to stop doing this and blah blah. And I was just like, I won $6,000.
Got it. You hustled them.
Yeah,
slow rolling is essentially the hustling of poker.
Yeah, it's like a psychological thing because like you feel like you are probably gonna win the hand, but then they're like, no, I got it.
Yeah.
And I just was like, yeah, I won $6,000, and they're like, what? And like I think my mom was like, this is divine intervention.
But how much? That's hilarious. How much were your debts? Like, did that actually cover all of it?
I had $2,000 left over.
Oh, okay. So total was $8,000.
No, I mean like it was like $4,000 in debt.
Oh, got it. And you had to.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
But my parents were like, okay, so you're gonna quit, and I was like, yes, mom. Don't worry, yes, dad. And then no, they knew I wasn't, and I knew I wasn't.
Wait, you played on Party Poker? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is that still active now?
Yeah.
Okay, is that the main?
It's one of the biggest now.
I was going to ask you, what's the best site for someone to play online poker?
Well, I mean, in America, it's like America's Card Room.
Okay.
That's really, but that's
nothing's. Is that all that there is?
I mean, it's regulated by state, or there's just ones that kind of operate in the gray area, and that's one of the operate in the gray area, and nothing is regulated in California.
Okay, cool. Wait, so that I was going to ask you, what the fuck is Black Friday? Like, what is that? I keep hearing about it in the poker world. What is it? Like, destroyed your life or some shit?
It's not after Thanksgiving.
No,
okay.
That much I understand.
So Black Friday is like basically in April 15th, 2011, I was walking into Coachella. Like it was like I was living in LA, walking to Coachella, like had a girlfriend. It was like living the life.
Okay.
And they got a call from my brother being like, dude, they're kicking out all the poker sites from America. And that's what it is. And it was tax day. And everything they kicked out Party Poker. Party Poker actually had to leave earlier because they're a publicly traded company, I guess.
By leaving, did they have to move their headquarters? Like what was or they just had to they couldn't have any American customers?
That. And they pay, because they're publicly traded, the only one, they had to pay $100 million fine. And then if you look now, Party Poker is actually one of the few poker sites that are actually in America, like in certain states, because they paid that. They're, you know, I feel like they're in better graces than the other ones.
Oh, interesting.
So I had to start going out of the country to play poker online, which is wild.
You had to leave the country. Could you go to Canada or Mexico?
Canada, Mexico, but Europe, wherever. But like, I mean, I try to think of like parallels to it, and it's like, I mean, you know, like let's say you're doing something that's like maybe even teaching. I don't even know. Like just maybe not obviously teaching. That's a bad example because like you're actually helping people. Me, I'm not really helping people.
But you're helping yourself.
Yeah. But like, you know, you just had to do something. And then overnight, they're like, yeah, you can't do that in America anymore.
My dog just came gallivanting over here. So what? So you couldn't physically. Now back then,
they had blocked all the sites.
Were VPNs popular back then? Was
that a
thing?
Well, if you did that, you would get your money and your account like banned.
Oh.
So, and then they tried other things where.
They went all out.
Oh.
This was like the rate of online pokers then.
Dude, this could be. I still would love to like there should be some sort of
Netflix documentary.
Yeah, or movie or whatever. Like it was a wild time. So what ended up happening was all these like 21 to maybe actually 18 to like 30-year-old like generally men or kids were like were just going down to Mexico, Playa del Carmen, Cabo. I went to Vancouver. Some went to Montreal.
I love
Europe.
Playa del Carmen.
Yeah, it was great. I spent like a world championship of online poker there. Like it was like in September. And
well, oh my God, what's September?
That's like it's a championship like online.
Yeah, but which year?
Oh, 2000, I don't know, 13, 14?
Oh no, because I was there in 2017 in September. Like the whole month, we did all of the Jewish holidays there. It was amazing.
That sounds great.
Yeah, there's all these Israelis. It was like there was 2 full synagogues in Playa del Carmen with thousands of people each.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't freaking believe it. I don't know how they fit that many people in the town.
My Mexican friend did let me know. He like lives in Mexico City and he's from there. That there are a lot of Jews in Mexico, and I just didn't realize it.
Yeah, there's a whole fucking bunch. Wait, so Black Friday happened. So okay, let's rewind. So when did you start getting good at poker? Because obviously you won the $6,000 in that tournament. But that's one tournament. But I got 11th place. You know what I mean?
Good rewind, because it does keep going, and it gets so basically. I then got another job at Olive Garden. Another Olive Garden. I've worked at three different Olive Gardens.
Do they not communicate with each other? Like,
no, that's how I got the jobs. Oh. They were like, "Oh, he's a good worker," and this
he's
one
he's troubled, but he's good. Take him in.
So I did the Olive Garden Coral Springs, and then I got transferred to Plantation, and then Plantation hooked me up at the one in Gainesville.
Okay.
And then the Coral
Plantation
Springs
in
one,
Gainesville, or the Olive Garden in Gainesville.
The Olive Garden in Gainesville.
Okay.
And then the Coral Springs Olive Garden gave me a second chance.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah, and I mean, he was Mike. He was a good GM, but so I ended up like working there. But then I would still want to play poker,
right.
And eventually I would be like, oh, I made like $2,000 in poker, or saved up money from Olive Garden, put it online, would make $2,000 and be like, I quit. You know, I was joking about it. You ever see Eurotrip?
Yeah.
You know the scene where he's like in
movie.
Bratislava and he's like, he gets like a quarter tip and he just quits and he slaps the dude in the face.
I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah, but it was basically like a American
like
quarter. Like it was basically like me thinking $2,000 was actually going to be good. So I was like, I'm done. See you guys later.
How many times did that happen?
Well, let's count it. Olive Garden, okay. Ruby Tuesdays, okay. Longhorn Steakhouse, but that's another reason why it didn't work out there.
Okay.
Bahama Breeze,
okay.
And then the last one was Mon Ami, which is just a French restaurant. And then after that, I just said, I'm done. I'm done.
Wow, you worked at 5 different restaurants? Were you a server each time, or anytime a line cook or anything like that?
I was always a server.
God, that's so hectic.
Yeah, and then like that last one, I basically just said, okay, like we're just gonna do this poker thing for a little bit, and then I went extremely broke for like it was only like 2 months.
So how long after the $6,000 tournament is all of this happening? Like when was the last spot that you quit? How long after the tournament was
So
this?
I quit in January 2005, and then I think this happened in about like June 2004. So like, you know, maybe I was working Olive Garden in the mix of that. But
so it wasn't that long after. This wasn't years later. This
no.
Okay.
So it was about a year and a half that I'm playing poker, and at that point, this is like where things kind of changed. Where Ben, he was lending me money from time to time, and he was like, dude. you owe me like $1,500. Like, I can't give you any more. You're not good at poker. You should quit. And I was like, no, I believe I can be good at this. I truly believe. I don't know why. My absurd, like, hard-headedness was just like, I can do this. And he was like, all right, I'll let you deal in the poker games. So I would deal.
Oh, Ben would also play?
Yeah. He would play if he need, it's like how you run a game. Like, if there's a seat open, you play. If not, you like manage it.
Got it.
So he would let me deal and then get tips. So I did it once, made $40, got in, lost it. The next night I made $30, hopped in, made $650. Then paid Ben like $150 back.
Nice.
Then went to the casino, won 2 tournaments for $1,000, had $1,500, paid him back,
nice.
Put $100 on party poker. And then, ended up all of a sudden, like, there's like a little more like poker-esque kind of like story to it. But basically, I like got it in with like 5% equity with like 13 left against the chip leader when I was in second.
Wait. What the fuck does that mean? Hold on. Let's break that down.
Okay, let's break that down.
5% equity.
So it was basically I had ace king.
Okay.
On a 10-7 3-board.
Okay.
And they had 7s.
Got it.
And I decided I was just gonna.
And your thing was 5% like chance of winning.
Yeah, if you were to look at the math behind it,
yeah.
And then I just turn and rivered. So I hit a turn. I had the straight to beat his set.
Oh shit!
So he had 7s.
Got it.
And I just somehow and I had friends watching me, and they were like, "What did you just do?" And then I was like, "I don't know." And I look down, and then I look up, and I'm like, "Wait, how did I win this?"
Wait, that's such a fucking wild experience.
It was so epic because like the way that party poker does it runs out real fast.
Okay.
So like you're really feeling this time like instantaneously almost.
Oh, this happened online.
This is online.
Oh.
And then like my friends are like also, but they're the ones who are still like, I'm looking down, they're still looking, and they realize that I had won, and I look back up and I'm like, what is going on? We're all cheering and stuff. And after that,
that's so exciting.
Yeah.
What an adrenaline rush.
That's like why I play poker.
Yeah.
You know? And then I went on to win that one.
Okay.
Then I won a few others.
How much did you win in that one? What's like the average?
Like $3,000 or $4,000, but it was like more than I ever had. And then within a week, I had $30,000 to my name.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a big difference from owing a bunch of people like $1,500, $1,000 to now having $30,000.
It was literally like a
poker.
week, and yeah, and then after that, I kind of just I was like 22-year-old kid having $30,000, thinking you're on top of the world.
Wait, it's so funny now that I'm thinking about it because in Playa del Carmen, we met someone who was supporting himself fully off of online poker. I'll actually never forget that, and I'll never forget thinking like, "Damn, I should do that."
There you go.
That'd be so nice. But yeah, talk about degen. Degen? Do they say degen or is it degen? I feel like
degen. It's not degen.
Degen is so much better though because it's like degenerate.
Yeah, but like I mean,
like
no one says degen. The thing is that like.
Degen.
Yeah, like degen. I'm such a degen. Like no one even thinks about the degenerate part. Like no one says the full word.
I consider I think of the whole world, the whole word, because it's like I am a full degenerate. I'm not just half of it.
Sure. Okay.
God, that's so wild. Okay, so now you have 30,000 to your name. This is all from online poker. What happens after that? Like when do you start playing in actual in-person tournaments? When do you start making the name? Also, were you ruthless this whole time at the beginning?
Yes. Well, actually, kind of no.
When did you become ruthless?
Well, I got high one night in college where I just wanted to play. I don't know why I remember these details, but I wanted to play Xbox, and it was MotoGP, which is some racing game that I literally haven't played since.
This is your gamer tag.
It was my gamer tag, and I want to think of something sick, you know, like
I'm gonna be so cool, bro.
I'm gonna spell the word ruthless different, and then like I just did it, and then so there's this thing that happened in 2006 where there's Black Friday, and there's something called like UIGA, which is kind of like they just tacked on some like poker thing, like a gambling bill to like something that was never gonna that was never gonna actually
pass,
like fail. So that's why Party Poker had to leave before Black Friday, because this UIGA thing had affected the payment processing.
Oh,
so like
interesting. So this was just like some stupid little law, like extra sort of footnote that they tacked on.
From like a really dated, it was called like the Wire Act, I think. It was something really dated that was for like in the 60s before the internet was created.
Isn't that called earmarking or some stupid shit?
I don't know.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah, whatever it was. But like because of I'm trying to remember like why I brought that up exactly. Oh, because of so Party Poker had to leave.
Right.
And because of that, Poker Stars, which is now like
I have Poker Stars.
There you go.
I am Shanni Snacks on there.
There you go. Shanni Snacks taking over the world. Yeah. But because Poker Stars is now the biggest, they were handed all these players on a silver platter from Party Poker. It was like a big migration. And I just had Roothlus on there, but I was different actually I was GG Unit on Party Poker.
Shut up. We have a group chat called G Unit. Me and all my girlfriends.
No, G Unit or GG Unit?
No, it's just G Unit, but
I mean that, that's the 50 Cent,
Yeah. Listen, it's a long story, but it's a great one. Wait, but okay, so you became Roothlus. What year was that? 2000?
That was 2006 or maybe like late 2000. It was 2006.
So you'd already been playing for a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, like I had already kind of established myself on Party Poker.
Okay.
And
as GG Unit?
Yeah, and like there were some other Party Poker had a weird thing like where you could be on there was like an affiliate program or whatever. So Ben initially early on was like play on this account or whatever. And but like GG Unit was the one that I like was.
That's where you got your start.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you became Roothlus. It's just really funny how people call you that now. I didn't realize that was. First of all, I didn't realize how big you were in poker amongst the people until we were in the LionShare Twitter space. And who was it? I forget who it was saying how he couldn't believe that Adam Levy was Roothlus or something, and it was so fucking funny.
I don't know, but yeah, it's been a weird kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like it's like a reality because there's that hand with Phil Helmuth.
Yeah, which is just iconic. If people haven't seen that, I feel like you get asked about this all the time, but I'm going to post a clip about it because it's just so good. It's such a great rant and you handle yourself so well, and the aggressive caller moment, oh my God, just iconic.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, but that was such a weird day also, just because like I woke up late and then I just see that I'm probably going to be a feature table and I have to like prepare myself to be in like possibly the biggest moment of my life,
on camera.
So I actually had some good internal, and I feel like I don't always have great internal dialogue to kind of like pep yourself, but in that moment I was like full. It was like that was 2008, so it wasn't too long after, but I was like fully confident in my poker game and fully like kind of like known in the space. So it was kind of like, all right, like this is your moment kind of thing. And I just remember saying to myself, just remember the way that this works is if you do something like you have to portray how you want to be perceived to the world or something if something happens.
Why? Because the cameras are there?
Yeah.
How many feature tables are there?
There's only one a day, but there's one feature table, but they'll alternate every like 3-4 hours or something.
Got it. How okay, so first of all, Phil in that scene, was he just a really big in-person poker guy and he didn't really understand, like he didn't appreciate the online people coming through? Because it seemed like there was a bit of that. Was that a thing at all?
Yes. But also the way that he operates, and I've been told this before poker, like before the online poker boom happened, that this is just how he's been. And part of me honestly wonders if maybe the best way to react at a poker table for oneself, I'm not saying or like as a decent human being,
right,
is to just get out all that anger. And then like it's kind of the mental game. I think we were talking about that a little earlier before we started recording, but like like he's getting out all that anger and maybe he's projecting on someone else. And maybe there's like some level of like, psychology to that. But if you look at that hand, he ranted and went off for like a minute and a half or whatever and came back. He didn't miss a hand. Like he was back in his seat ready to play the next hand, and it's like very subtle. So I think like that might be kind of his like strategy somewhat because he still has won the most bracelets ever.
Is that his claim?
Yeah, I mean, like, and he keeps winning, like to this day.
Is he still winning?
He won. I think he won a bracelet this past year too.
Staying on top like that is crazy. What's a bracelet for people who don't know?
Oh yeah, it's basically the World Series of Poker. In their events like during the summer. This year was like in October, but like if there's 70 events a year, and if you win one, it's like thousands of people in it, and it's just very prestigious to win. Like it's kind of like maybe not the litmus test of if you're a good poker player or not, but it's like if you get up there and you've won 16 of these, you're a great poker player.
Yeah, if you win one, I mean, there's always like that lucky beginner's luck type of vibe. But if you win 16,
at some point you just got to be
yeah.
like results. It's funny because, like you said, it's like initially after a few tournaments, you're like, I mean, you can't really trust the results. But then after 16, it's like they're like almost it's irrefutable.
That's honestly, when I was watching that video, first of all, I didn't understand in your bio when it said aggressive caller for the longest amount of time. But then now, once I watched it, I really understood it. That moment was so iconic, and especially the Vanessa Russo name drop, because I'm a huge Big Brother fan.
It's funny that you know that, you knew her.
I know of her. I know of the idea of game theory because of her, because of the way that she played Big Brother.
Yeah.
She spoke about how she was like a game theory master, whatever. I don't know the fuck. She studied that shit. And she was crazy on Big Brother. She was like insane. Is she known as a temperamental poker player?
Funny enough, she used to play actually when I was going I was kind of coming up in 2005. She was going to like UM, I think, for law or something.
Where's UM?
It's Miami.
Oh, okay.
And her and I guess her boyfriend or whatever would play then at Hard Rock where I played in South Florida. So like I kind of knew who she was then, but she was definitely a little, I don't know. I think she might have been she would articulate that she was maybe not feeling good or whatever it was at times. And then I feel like at some point became like a brand. And then, she was kind of fascinating to me because she was always she was DJing or this or that. Like, I'm curious what she's up to now.
Probably still wearing beanies and shit.
Yeah. And her hat's sideways, like Von Dutch, but.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she loved those Von Dutch hats. Wait. Also Trishelle. Did you ever play with her?
Yeah. I mean,
I've interviewed her before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because my old podcast, the Saniac podcast, was about MTV's The Challenge, and she started off on the Real World and that whole thing. So she came on. We interviewed her, and it was actually a really great episode. She was a little drunk. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. So my old poker agent was kind of I think loosely repping. I don't know what but it definitely was in that same kind of friend group and stuff, and she would stay at my house and stuff here and there.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so cool. Yeah, that it was a pretty good interview. I loved her original seasons. I love reality TV because it's so fucking messy. I was saying this the other day, it's so fun to watch drama that isn't yours. Do you ever feel that way when you're watching other poker tables? It's exhilarating, but it's not you losing all the money.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel when I watch when I'm listening to some Twitter Spaces. But yeah, I mean, or a Clubhouse or something. But yeah, it's always kind of fun, but also sometimes it depends on the drama.
Yeah.
So there's this thing where if you take a bad beat, which is when you get unlucky in a poker hand at the beginning, or let's say the beginning of a poker tournament, and you're freaking out, and you're getting loud, and it's dude, we have 3 days left of playing. So you're clearly just being dramatic here. Learn to kind of, so
contain your emotions.
But the drama when it heats up, that's amazing, but there's a time and place for it, I guess.
As in when it's unnecessary drama right at the beginning, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
This is so premature. How long have you played poker in a row? I mean, hours wise, not in years. I'm talking about what's the longest table you've sat at and just been there the whole time?
Well, I'd say, live, it's probably there was one tournament I played from 1 o'clock to 3 a.m.
Damn.
And then we had to come back and finish it the next day at 1 p.m. or something, which isn't that much time really when you've been playing for 15 hours to recover, sleep, and kind of get yourself back together. But online, it's probably, I think, 17 or 18 hours. There's one thing that comes to mind was I think I really kind of view poker as somewhat of a sport, or even if it's, regardless.
It is kind of a sport.
Yeah.
It's a mental sport.
Yeah. Even if it's if it's a sport or a game, you still remember some of those close calls or good moments / bad moments. And one of them that sticks out to me, because for me, I would always kind of find humor in some of the funny bad moments. I played a 16-hour poker session, but it was at my mom's house, and I just so the timing of it was like 5 a.m. when I got knocked out.
Okay.
And I was such a deep run, but I didn't like, you normally, maybe you get knocked out at 11 p.m. You at least get to like, you don't want to like completely like dump your emotions on them, but you kind of want to just like have
someone to talk to.
Maybe
basically.
I can go out and eat or whatever it is. I can do something. Maybe I can chat with someone even online.
Yeah.
But it was 5 a.m. in the morning and it was like $500,000 for first.
Oh,
and I was like chip lead with like 100 left.
shit.
And I just get 50th. And I just remember being like, I can't do anything right now. I'm just sad. And I got on my mom's couch and just curled up like in the ball and just was like, I know it's like definitely like very, I don't know.
That sounds traumatic as fuck.
It was like a little.
Wait, but you got 50th, so did you lose money?
Oh no, I made money, but like
Okay.
it's like you get like $7,000 instead of 500K
500.
when you literally was like you were chip lead, and it's like kind of like it's like a traumatic, but like kind of like a funny moment that like that's like what I did because I just had to cope in some way. I just like literally was just like, oh man, this is rough.
I want to twist the knife a little bit on this one. What was the losing hand?
I don't remember.
Was it brutal?
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, but you do remember some of them, but
Yeah, some of them are iconic.
I mean, man. So I don't know if maybe you have some homework now. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this poker hand from 2010 World Series.
Is it the Duhamel one?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So he's the one who knocked you out, right?
He knocked me out.
This was around the time. It was that 2 to 3 year period that I actually watched the World Series.
Okay.
I would stay. I don't know why. I would just like stay. I get into things when I get into things as a hobby or as a viewer. I get fucking into shit. Like I just get so obsessed. So I would stay up. I watched like the 3-4 days of the World Series, and I remember Duhamel was there, and I remember like Magic Mizrahi was there. Or sorry, what's his name? Michael
Mizrahi.
Yeah, Magic Mizrahi.
Magic Mike Mizrahi.
No, Magic Mizrahi is actually a psytrance DJ.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking hilarious. And I just remember that time period, but it's crazy that you were there. So what was the hand that you were talking about in 2010?
So there was this hand where Duhamel decided to make a big raise with jacks, I guess. And
With pocket jacks?
yeah, with pocket jacks. There you go. Look at you, you're learning. And the other guy, Matt Affleck, had aces with pocket aces.
Oh shit.
And it's like, they were number 1 and 2 in chips. And they probably, they had a lot of chips combined. And Duhamel kind of just like decided that he was gonna, or he called off with it, but like, so I'm trying to explain it so that you can, basically.
So a beginner will understand.
Yeah. So basically the board came 10, 9, 7.
Okay.
So Duhamel has a gut shot.
Right.
And can
Wait,
hit the
a gut
straight.
shot is a possible straight.
A possible straight, but not like when it's like 8 outs.
Right,
it's
right,
4
right.
outs. And so you can hit the set or you can hit the straight. And he calls one bet from Affleck. And then on the turn comes a queen. So now he's got an open-ended. So it's like Jack,
queen.
It's 10-9 queen. So he can hit like a
king
or like an 8
an
or
8.
whatever.
Got it.
So now, but the thing is that what was so unexpected was Affleck goes all in, and
Affleck goes all in.
Affleck goes all in with aces, and he's like, I think this person, like, what can I do here? I have so many chips,
But he doesn't have. He
has
has nothing on the
aces.
board. He just has aces in his.
Yeah, but
Got it.
it's the best, one pair hand, and he thinks maybe the guy Duhamel has kings, pocket kings. So Duhamel thinks and you've seen it edited.
Right.
This was a 15-minute hand. It probably was edited down to 5 minutes, which is still absurd for a TV hand.
Right.
And I was next to Duhamel, and he was just like as soon as Affleck went all in, you saw Duhamel just go like, fuck. Like he just like mouthed it very like kind of like you could barely hear it through the mic or whatever.
Because that would put him all in, right?
Yeah,
he was 2.
But it was basically saying like I really like got myself into a tough situation here. Like, like here we go again. Oh no. And like, but the way it was that what I took that as was, granted, kind of results, but like I felt like he got himself into a really tough situation here, and he kind of almost knew he couldn't really fold. Even though like
because the pot odds he was already so deep in.
Yeah, but he definitely could have still folded.
Guys, I know poker.
There you go. You're so
poker.
yeah. You're saying some advanced things right now.
Yeah.
But he eventually calls, and you look at Affleck, and Affleck never would have expected that Duhamel would have like. So think about it. You're all in for 10 minutes,
right?
With
Somebody
aces.
calling with jacks would be a little bit crazy.
Yeah, but you're expecting Duhamel. You're assuming that Duhamel has like 2 outs or 6 outs.
Okay,
or whatever it is.
When you say outs, explain
2
that.
possible cards in the deck.
Okay.
Or 6 possible cards in the deck. You're not expecting Duhamel to actually have 10 possible cards in the deck that he can hit.
Okay.
So when Affleck gets called, he's expecting kings or something else, not 10 outs. So he was like mentally prepared for all this stuff, not that. And you could kind of see like, oh
shit.
and then it comes on the river, and it's like, the straight comes on the river, and Duhamel wins, and then he goes on to win the tournament.
When what's his face went all in originally, was that after the flop? Like, was that after they've already, or was that
was on the turn?
Oh, okay.
So it was like on the flop, it went like bet and then call.
That seems kind of weird for him to do that, because if you have, from my limited experience playing
Yes,
online
Shanni,
poker,
yeah, please.
It seems like a very stupid move, because if there's even a possibility for a straight there, and you only have pocket aces.
So here's where so this is actually a very good point that you're bringing up, because it's such a good like point to touch on for beginner poker players.
Right.
The disconnect is thinking about what hands are possible pre-flop based on the action versus what is possible post-flop. So like this person would never, like Duhamel would never have like Jack 8, which would be a straight in this situation.
Right.
Or whatever it was. Like
why? Because he wouldn't play that in the first place?
It was 9, 10, 7. So yeah, he would never call like all this pre-flop action with Jack 8 suited or offsuit.
Right. Got it.
Like even though you're seeing it kind of from like, you're like kind of reverse engineering it, there's like and this takes a while to like understand that it's not in the pre-flop hands. I know we're getting a little
no,
but I'm trying to kind of.
I hear what you're saying, because it's funny. That's when I played poker with my volleyball coach from high school. I went all in after like 3 hands and I just lost. But something that he mentioned, and I could see it, was like, you look at what the person is betting as you go. So if someone's betting a lot pre-flop, then that means that they probably have a solid hand. So
yeah, they're telling you a story to some extent.
Right. So I see what you're saying.
So like
he
Jack
wouldn't
8
have thought,
is not in that story.
Right. Jack 8 isn't, but I mean, pocket jacks would be, no?
Yeah, but
I
pocket
love
jacks
using
is
the
not
word pocket.
it's not a straight at that point. It only has like the outs to it.
Right.
But
God,
it's just a tough spot. And then maybe you put it in the show notes or something. I don't know. But watching that hand and being there for that hand was one of the most brutal, it's definitely the most brutal hand that I've been around for. And it's just like a tough situation to just be around there for, after the river comes and Duhamel wins and Matt Affleck is just out of the tournament.
And that wasn't final table, right? That was before.
Yeah, it was like with like 15 left or so.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and like if you think about like, you remember bring it back to when I got a C or a D and I failed out, like that right there, like that's river card is like, changes fates. And that's what's crazy about poker.
God, that's so crazy. It's just so intense. But those are the moments where I feel like for Duhamel or whatever, like that's a core memory right there. That's a fucking core memory.
I mean, so is winning,
like
but that is a core memory. But you know what I mean?
Like that, I feel like, winning the whole thing is obviously amazing, but those kinds of hands, because he could have easily been on the opposite end. He could have easily been on the losing end. We don't know. If he didn't hit the 8, would he have lost? He would have, right?
Yeah, he would have had
he could have hit what else? A jack?
We could have hit a jack or a like a king or an 8.
Okay.
And like whatever it was, like if it's any other card, then it actually affected my tournament too, because Duhamel ended up knocking me out.
Yeah.
And like if Affleck, but I mean that's not specific. Like obviously that's just I got knocked out, whatever. But what I mean is Duhamel or Affleck would have had so many chips, and he was playing really good like poker at that time, and Duhamel he went on to be a much better player, but at that time he was still very unpolished and raw. So like Affleck would have definitely have like done a good job of kind of running over the table, or I had like a decent stack at that point where I could kind of just like
hang out a bit,
coast. Yeah, it's like riding shotgun sometimes. That happens in poker.
God, that's so intense. And so Duhamel ended up going on to win, right? That World Series. Do you feel better about knowing that you got kicked off by the person who won? You know, like
I mean, you know, it's kind of like a hey, that's a cool little factoid. You know,
it's like when a sports team loses and then the sports team that they lost to in the playoffs or whatever goes on to win the championship. Aren't they a little bit more excited about that?
Yeah, you're like, you know, at least like they use my chips wisely or something, but also like, geez, like just let it be me kind of thing.
But also like, fuck them. I wish I won
exactly.
this. Yeah. What's the winnings on World Series? What do you win?
For that one, that was like 9 million.
Holy shit. You win 9 million if you win that. What's the tiers? Like, what's
So
second
I
place?
got 12th, which was 600,000.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, I mean, it's like, yeah, obviously 600,000 is amazing.
Yeah, but
you
9
know,
million.
We're playing for like ultimately, like the reason why I started playing poker was the money was there, but it was always like the glory kind of, and yeah, obviously the money, but like, you know, when you're that close, like it's one of those things where you there's a good chance you'll never make it. It's a great chance you'll never make it back there.
Yeah, unless you're Phil.
Well, no, he's never made the final. He's won the main event like years ago before the poker.
Has he not made it back?
Yeah, and not since, no.
Oh shit.
But yeah.
Oh, so he's won other bracelets for other tournaments.
Yeah.
Got it, but not the World Series. Wow, it's kind of the World Series to me feels like it's like the heavyweight championship. You know, like the bracelet is the belt, except it goes around your hand.
Essentially, yeah. But you know, I would really love it if they did give belts out for.
Wouldn't that be fucking cool?
Yeah, I got second in Cherry Tournament once that had a belt, so I was so disappointed.
The little spots where that's sad. Yeah. You know the little spots where there's like the diamonds and shit, the rubies or whatever. You could have like gold poker chips there. That'd be fucking sick.
Hey, maybe pitch it to the World Series of Poker.
I would love to pitch that to the World Series. I'd also love to pitch the idea of me and Snoop Dogg commenting on the World Series of Poker. I think that would be...
Why Snoop Dogg specifically of all people? I don't even know if I've never heard of him playing poker.
I don't think he does. But I don't know if you've seen, he comments on random sports. He does color commentary on random...
Oh, like him and Kevin Hart. They'll just do like yes. Olympics commentary.
And him and Uriah Faber, they did Dana White's Contender Series for a bit. He smoked weed in the Apex, and they had to move him out. So they moved the commenting booth to a separate section so he could smoke weed because the weed was interrupting the fighters or whatever.
That's funny.
Which is fucking hilarious. Yeah, so I think me and Snoop would be great at that. I feel like it'd be such a good time. Okay, so the other thing about poker that I keep hearing you guys talk about, and I don't really understand this, which is how poker has changed to now, where back in the day, things were really surprising. Like apparently you're like revolutionary in the game, if you will, to the point where you're making moves that are now very obvious, but back then were very...
I mean, calling me a revolutionary when I was just clicking buttons is, you know, but so... Yeah,
because you guys have talked about this in so many interviews, but I don't really understand it.
So basically, there's certain things that like... So, okay. And this kind of goes maybe with NFTs or I don't... maybe even UFC. There's like... When there's a new thing that's out there, like poker was a new thing, NFTs are a new thing, UFC to some extent, like back in the day, it was pretty new. You know, boxing cool, but Octagon different. Yeah. So you kind of have to learn. Everyone has to learn for themselves, and some people learn quicker, some people learn slower, some people learn more innovatively, or some people learn better when there's a foundation already of and they innovate. You know, so. I think that for me, I just kind of like had a mixture of like I randomly figured out some stuff in poker before like it was really like known. But like once everyone knew that, it was like, oh crap, I have to like now I'm learning from other people and I have to really like it changed the way that I like had to play and what I had to do, and it became more like it kind of morphed into a different thing. So one thing, for example, was if you like were to raise, everyone for some reason would raise like 3 times the big blind.
Was that just standard?
It was just standard. You just like...
Is that standard in person though also? Because if you do that fucking math. Like,
well, I mean,
online you can click the little 3x button.
Well, yeah, but also like, I mean, you can do the math of making it $6 or $5, but you can't really like split it up into like cents live.
Right.
Whereas like what I was doing was instead of what you're saying where you would just click the 3x because it's simple, I would literally just type in like a certain number that was like 2.3x, I guess.
Oh, a little off. Just a little offbeat. Okay.
But like what that ended up doing, it's a very simple thing that looking back, you'd be like, yeah, that seems like, you know, it makes sense, or whatever the size is now, it's like kind of solved. But back then, I was basically earning, like, if you think about it, let's say I make it 2.3 times the big blind, you make it 3 times the big blind.
Okay.
And we're playing the same hands. And the people that are calling the same. Every time that you have to fold, I'm earning 0.7. Like I'm saving 0.7.
Okay.
Times the big blind.
Okay.
So after, what was that, like 5 times? You know, like I've already earned I've earned like a free raise.
Wait. As in every time, like if I'm the one raising 2.2, then when I have to fold, I save 0.7. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no.
Or when I make
like,
somebody
let's
fold.
say that I like just me, like I've raised 3 times or I raised 2.3 times or whatever. If I do the exact same hands that I'm playing and my opponents react the exact same way, then I will be making profit. Like I will be beating out the 3 times the big blind type like person, because I will have more ammo to keep raising, if it makes sense.
Okay,
like,
kind of. Yeah.
Like, cause let's say here's an example. I make it 3 times big blind. Someone goes all in for 15 big blinds. I'm folding.
Got it.
But I'm saving each time that I have to fold.
Got it, because you save that 0.7.
Yeah, so it was like kind of like stupid, silly stuff like that.
No, but that's actually cool.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what's crazy is I didn't even know that I was doing that until like that guy Ben one year, like you know, in 2006 or something, was like, that's like a pretty good it's a pretty good move there. And like also apparently people would like have aces and they would change their raise size, or if they'd have ace king they change their raise size, and I'd be like, dude, just keep it all the same. You're basically saying like what you have. You know, so it was kind of like very foundational stuff. So once poker became more complex, I had to learn from other people, and I did for a while. But then at some point, maybe I didn't want to work as hard or study, or maybe like the culture of me like living up in LA kind of took over, and people started catching up. But then after Black Friday, it kind of changed, because then I had to like go out of the country to play poker.
Black Friday. What a sad time for Has it ever come back? What's the vibe now? I'm so confused.
I mean, poker's vibing. We're having a moment, but
from Black, I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, we're definitely having a moment. Like, listen, guys, I got 11th place in my first tournament. I feel like that's basically first place.
I mean, there were 100 people in there.
It's literally basically first place if you just remove one of the ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just cut a digit off.
Pretty much killed it. But it's back now in the sense that you can play on PokerStars and stuff like that.
I mean, you can't play PokerStars. That's like free. You know, you can't play PokerStars in like 43 of the 50 states or something.
Oh, really? Well, you can play in California, right?
No.
Okay.
You're playing play money.
Oh, shit.
Like you're just like
It is all play money. I think there's only been $1 spent.
You can play play money anywhere, actually.
Okay, interesting. So I do play a lot of the play money stuff. I like the free tournaments because there's no losses, but I also play a lot more recklessly. I'm just like, oh, I hate this guy, I'm gonna call.
Well, that's what I love about poker, is that even though I don't think it's like the greatest game, like if you're to be like, hey, like, do you want to play poker or like Magic or something?
You're gonna say Magic.
You know what? I'm just thinking of examples, or maybe I don't know, like FIFA or any other video game that I like.
Yeah.
I'll pretty much pick all those over poker. But poker does such a good job of making like being a device to play, or sorry, money is such a good like
incentivizer,
or it's like a unit to use when playing with the game of poker. It is, because it's like enough luck and skill that everyone thinks they're kind of good at it, even though it's just like the hand, and there's enough ego with that that it's just so many layers to it. And it gets pretty fascinating.
So do you prefer cash games to the sort of like tournament style games because of that reason?
No.
No.
Tournaments, because I'm a for the glory guy, for that. Remember the story where the sweat and the adrenaline pumping, like the main event, even though I got 12th, is still one of like my greatest memories in my life.
I mean, 12th is fucking impressive. How many people were there?
Like 6,800 or something.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's even better than my 11th place.
I know, a little marginally,
slightly,
but
just ever so slightly better.
Yeah.
God, that's so crazy. Winning. I mean, I know at some point I'll be making good money, but like I have not had a $600,000 check handed to me yet.
Yeah, in a little bit.
God, that just sounds so exhilarating. It just sounds so great.
I mean, it was so intense, and there's a few things. Like, one, I have no idea where I'd be if I actually did win, because it could have been like good, bad, you know.
Yeah.
But also, I just remember on day 8 of the event, 8 days.
Holy shit! Is that how far 12th place was? Day 8? No, it went longer.
And then you took a 3-month break, and then played like day 9, 10, 11, like in like the Rio, like there was a massive
Wait,
stage.
Was a 3-month break or whatever?
They used to do, there was this thing called the November 9.
Oh,
and like
shit.
and like, so what was weird about that year was there was actually like added incentives for making the November 9. Like you could get like 7-figure deals. Like Duhamel probably got paid like 7 figures to wear like certain things,
the hats
like
and the fucking
whatever.
shirts.
Yeah.
It's always so funny when they have like when their hat is just put on really poorly, you know, and it's like someone just shoved that on their head, and then they have a shirt on top of the shirt.
Like the hat doesn't fit their head.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny. They do that. It's funny. We've been mentioning the UFC, but they used to do that at fights a lot. You know, when they would like throw a t-shirt on a fighter and they're all sweaty and
like
sticky.
right after they're finished.
Like they can't even like.
They don't want to wear that,
and they're like shoving a hat on them and shit. It's so fucking
just put
ridiculous.
a sticker on me or something.
Yeah, they like hand them some labeled water bottle.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you make day 9? Was that?
I did not.
No.
Day 8 was
day 8 was when
there was 27 left, and then there were 12.
Got it.
And then I got 12th, but it was awesome because by then people were like had like, you know, like let's go Ruth
signs,
and then my parents weren't there, but I was hoping that like obviously they would be there if like the 3-month break and stuff. But then like, I mean, there were friends and then people were like cheering everyone on. At one point, this is actually, I love this because it's just hilarious. But so the way that poker works is with 13 left, it's like you're making like 500,000 or 480 or something.
So
but
nice.
with 12 left, you get a pay jump for $130,000.
Wait, as in everybody 13th and who else? Like 15th, 14th?
Yeah, like it has
like
to
an
progress.
increment, right,
Incremental.
yeah.
And like it would be like 18th through 16th gets like X amount, and then 15th through 13th.
Got it.
So it'd be 12th through 10th.
So you hit the pay jump for that.
Yes, but not only did I hit it, the way I hit it was awesome because there were 2 tables, and it's like, let's say, you know, we're here playing poker, and then like it's like 50 feet away around the corner, because we were not the feature table, we were like the secondary one that they put.
Got it.
So, and like all the cameras are over there, like 50, 75 feet away or whatever. And I had to keep track of the other smaller stacks.
Okay.
So I would be like, all right, well, I have this amount. And then I would run over there, not miss a hand. Like, I wish they had footage of this.
Oh, because you were making sure you got to 12th place. Yeah. Got it.
And then like I would just run and like, oh, wait, what's going on here? Okay, this is this guy's stack. Okay, well, I know. Because like $135,000 for one place is nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I was just like huffing and puffing, and it was hilarious.
Were you just waiting for someone on the other end so you could play a little bit looser?
Like basically that's what happened, and that's kind of like why I got knocked out. Even though technically I would, you know, I would take that I would take that hand back now. But still, like, you know, it is what it is.
Is what it is. That's an exhilarating experience. How old were you when that happened? Not to age you, but I'm just so interested.
I was 28.
Oh my God, that's such an exciting time to win $600,000. I mean, were you happier that you? Were you happier that you won the money, or were you sadder that you lost the tournament?
Sadder.
Oh, were you? Were you just so sad about it?
Like you just, like, I mean, I'm trying to think, let's say UFC and you're like, you have or even Super Bowl, and you make it to the Super Bowl, or you make it to like the conference championship or whatever, and then you lose. I mean, I'd say it was probably closer to the Super Bowl. Like you're so close. Or even, I don't know if you watched the Josh Allen game. With Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Like, that was fucking crazy.
The way that Josh Allen lost, that will take a while to recover from. Even like until he wins a Super Bowl or something. And it took me like a couple weeks to even like,
Wait, Allen is the Bills, right?
The Bills, yeah. It took me a couple weeks to even like, go out in public kind of thing. And then when I started playing poker again, everyone's like, oh, you're the guy who got 12th. And I'm like, yeah. Like every table was just like, oh, yeah. Or they'd be like, you're the Queen 10 guy. I'm just like, yes, yes, I am. Like, oh, man, this is my night. Like
Queen 10th, by the way, is Phil Helmuth. I feel like people need to know, right?
Yeah, the Phil Helmuth hand.
Yeah.
And
so iconic.
That's not my favorite hand of all time, though.
No, I know. I saw you talking about this. Your favorite hand was one also at that table, right?
Yeah.
With the like jack or some shit.
With John Robert Belland or whatever.
Yeah.
He like doesn't realize that he thought that he had the person completely dead to rights, 100%,
and he
equity,
right.
and he did not. And then the guy actually got there. It's just you can't make that. That kind of moment is hilarious.
I hear what you mean about the glory part, because I loved that when I was watching the World Series, as it would get later and later and later, and then as someone would win a hand, like a big hand, the whole fucking audience would go crazy and everyone would start screaming, and you see wives like giving kisses and stuff. Like it's just like it was like so insane. It seems like such a ridiculous experience to be a part of. Yeah. How do you sign up? Can anybody walk in and play the World Series?
Oh yeah, if you have $10,000, but that's the beauty of it. That was like what was so appealing was like back then, like you couldn't be Michael Jordan. Right. Like you actually needed to be like have a certain like maybe work ethic or whatever could get you there, but you still needed to have the athletic ability and the height or whatever. You're
displaying biceps right now. Yeah. You gotta have arms.
You gotta have arms. You need those arms.
Yeah.
But like. Poker, if you just somehow scrounge up $10,000, like there was someone who I invested in once who had $14,000 to his name, and he was just like, I'm doing this. And he put it up and he got 27th for $200,000.
Damn.
Doesn't always work out like that.
Damn.
But like, literally if you just have the money, you can play in it.
What place do you start making money?
I think it's like it used to be 10%, but now it's 15%. So it's about like top to 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get like,
but
15,
you have to
000.
beat 5,000 people or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like you're playing deep into day 3, so almost 3 full days.
I mean, I think I'll be ready for that soon.
You got 6 months. It's in
is it happening?
July.
I mean, maybe the one after that. Like
Yeah. Well, you might be ready for the ladies event.
Oh, what is the ladies event?
There's a 1,000. So I don't mean to brag, but my ex, I did teach her poker in 4 months, and then she got 4th in the $1,000 ladies.
How much
event.
did she win?
Like 30 grand.
Okay, I will accept.
I mean, like because I used that in on one of the poker basics things, and I feel like I'm not like a good like high level coach. There's plenty of people that are better, but I feel like as far as the basics go, I'm pretty good at that. But
that's interesting. Wait, so how much can you win at the ladies event total?
150,000 or 200,000, depending. But
that sounds nice.
Yeah,
that sounds really nice.
And
how much can you lose? What's the buy-in cost?
It's 1,000.
Oh, okay. That also sounds nice.
But you can also sell action.
What does that mean?
Which means like, hey, like I'm playing in this tournament. You want a piece of me? So I could give you $100 for 10%. And then like
that adds up.
Yeah. Well, you can also charge like a premium.
Yeah.
Like, well, Shanni Snacks. Like, Shanni Snacks. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, Shanni Snacks. That's a big name in poker right now.
Yeah. I mean, she's trail,
11th place. She's just 11th killing
place.
It.
She's definitely ready to take on this WSOP ladies event.
Some even call her revolutionary.
some. I'm still searching for the people who may, but I've heard it before.
I think they're out there.
They're out there
on
somewhere.
Discord somewhere. I'm telling you. They're like on Telegram.
Yeah.
Wait, that's cool. I love that there's no barrier to entry. I feel like that's a really fun part of poker, and especially in these tournaments. And I also, I only learned recently, I didn't understand this back when I was watching. I knew something was off about the chip count and the amount that they were actually winning when I was watching the World Series, but I didn't understand what the fuck was going on until recently with the LionShare Discords and stuff. So I like that you buy in for a certain amount. So the loss is maxed out. Like you can't lose any more than that, right? Or unless you buy back in. Can you buy back into World Series? No.
No. Well, some you can,
Some
but not the main event.
Right. Okay. But so before that?
Well, I mean like you can play in like a $1,000 like regular event. And
got it.
It's called re-entry.
Okay.
Whereas the main event is called like, it's just like a freeze out, which is like,
got it. You
once
can't fucking
yeah,
you can't. But I like that. I like that it's capped. It's it's 10,000 is the most that you can lose.
Yeah.
You're going in there and you just get a bunch of chips. It's fun to see.
re-entries are kind of predatory to like the amateurs because like who's going to have the most money to play?
Right.
It's going to be the pros.
Right.
So like a freeze out or it's where it's capped, you get one entry is just the fairest.
That is the fairest. That sounds great for me, the amateur,
Yeah.
aka the rising star.
There you go.
The poker revolutionary. It's fucking hilarious. All right, so let's talk about. Oh wait, actually, really quickly, I do want to ask about your Twitch streaming because I know you did that for a bit. Do poker players who stream on Twitch not feel like they're giving up their game secrets?
They are, but
Is there just more money in Twitch?
yeah.
Is
like
that what it is?
Maybe not when you're starting out, but also it's an incredible marketing tool. So like you're like,
in what way?
You're
Like
building your brand,
okay,
and you're getting people that to know, like you're getting notoriety for people who might not know you, and then also like you're making money by building your brand because people can donate to you or subscribe to you or whatever, and then you kind of just all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, interesting. But you don't want to give up too many of your secrets because then when you start go play in tournaments and stuff, people are like, "Oh, I know what he does."
Yeah, I mean,
I know his moves.
Somewhat, but like also there's a lot more layers to just playing. Like you can kind of understand that, but also it's just like I know his moves, and then it's just like you try to pick him off, and even if I give you all the tips and tell you what I'm gonna do with every single hand or whatever,
I still can't be you.
No, I mean you can here and there, but like if you have to think about the current situation always, and maybe you can recall me telling you something if it actually adds up, but you never really like it's a lot more random, so it's kind of hard to just be like, oh, I know what he's doing.
Yeah, I know his whole game. Okay. I see what you're saying. I see. I was wondering, do people ever get Botox to not have tells at the table? Because that would be such a good strategy.
I don't know. This is a really funny question. Maybe you should ask some poker players. Maybe some ladies who play poker. See if
everyone at the ladies' night event is all frozen.
Yeah.
Honestly, that'd be a good marketing tool for some Botox companies. I feel like they could really target the Vegas players.
You're not wrong. Maybe you should,
launch a business. Are you looking to invest?
Be the middleman for the brand.
Yeah.
Get it.
All right, maybe I'll have them sponsor my Twitch when I start that. Okay, so LionShare. We have to talk about LionShare, obviously.
Yeah,
I want to hear about the LionShare project from your end, and also just to let people know, because I think personally, as a beginner, obviously I just stumbled upon LionShare because I was on Twitter Spaces and I just saw you guys and I was like, I gotta tune in. This sounds fucking great. And now, I'm fully hooked. I just love the whole project, and I think it's a great entry point for beginners in poker, as well as obviously people who've been playing for a while because it's a fun time. But tell us about the project. Tell us about how people can get involved, and just give us all the deets.
Okay, so basically, I have always loved poker. I've always thought, I'm very deep into the NFT space as well now.
Right.
And like,
we will get to that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fucking important.
We haven't, wow, it's been almost 45 minutes, an hour, and I haven't mentioned NFTs yet. What's wrong with me?
It's actually shocking.
I know.
This conversation is incredibly fungible.
There have been nights where I've gone out where like I'm not even the one that's mentioning NFTs now.
But that's shock and awe, because it used to be only you mentioning NFTs.
Yeah. And now I'm just like, literally there was like one night last week where I was like, someone was like defending like a Bored Ape Yacht Club in front of me to someone else and explaining NFTs, and I'm just like, my
please,
children,
yes.
you learned. But so going back to LionShare, so basically, like I always wanted to mesh the two, and I actually started my own little Discord to kind of like try to do that. But I was so like it's tough. I'm an idea person, and it's like I need like someone who yeah, exactly. And then he was there. It wasn't really doing much, and I was still kind of just doing other stuff. But then I got approached by Linus Caldwell, who's a good friend of mine. And he was like, we have my friend Steve, who's the head of LionShare, has this project.
Wait, do you know Linus in real life?
Yeah.
But his real name isn't Linus, right?
No.
So Linus is another thing.
Yeah, but that's like a thing in the NFT world and stuff.
It's so fucking. I love
Everyone
the
just
anons.
loves the anon,
Yeah.
D's. Like, I don't know, and he'll go on like live stream and then he'll just have like a fate, like
will he?
Not Linus, but other
we'll have like the black thing,
or they'll just have like
in a true crime documentary.
No, but like they'll like have like an NFT that'll just pop around like as he like.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Those where there's like all black and the voice changes for like the old gangsters that can't reveal themselves. That's what I'm imagining.
I'm yet to hear that, but someone should really do that.
Yeah, someone should really go down that. I can't be. My voice is too. I can't be anon. Then I'd have to shut up the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's virtually fucking impossible.
Like I was already known, so I was like, whatever. I'm not going to be anon, but also it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, it does. Never mentioning anything, and
it's just like I'm too like honest. I just want to like talk about things and whatever, and like don't want it would wear on me.
Yeah, so much effort. All right, so Linus,
going back, yeah. So he was like, this project, it's really cool, and then when I found out like Steve was who's a Illini Poker on Twitter, or Illini Lion, and
he's quite big, right, in poker.
He's pretty well known. He's got like I think he may be in like the 8-figure range as far as like prize. Like
nice.
Prizes won. It's close. Maybe he's at 8 million or something, but it's still he surpassed me after
Excellent.
He came in later.
What's your total?
I don't know, probably like 6 million. I don't know. It's maybe 6 million combined.
Exciting.
Like between live and online.
So
yeah,
thrilling.
It's crazy, but you don't keep a lot of that, unfortunately. But okay, so Steve was like presented me this project, and it's basically like a poker academy, where we, someone like yourself, where we would help them get better, or even middling or top tier players who just want to like elevate their game. They would go to like Steve or Kurt, who's another streamer, and the way that Kurt kind of articulates his thoughts, it's just very, he's very expert. Like,
have I met him yet?
He's on a couple of spaces, but he really grasps like the highest level of poker very well. And so it's them, and then we just kind of created Discord. So basically, in order to be in the Discord and get like all this kind of
the good juice,
the good, the
good
coaching and stuff like that, you have to own the token. Okay. And the reason why that is very different is because in normal poker websites, they will say pay a monthly fee, $100, couple hundred, or it could be a lot sometimes. And like you do that for a year, and that's like $2,000 you just spent on poker coaching. And you're a poker player, so you kind of forget about things sometimes, and you forget to turn off that auto.
Now you've been paying it for fucking ever.
You got to do real life stuff, whatever it is. So this it's a 0.2 Ethereum, which right now is like around $600, and you can literally just have like access to the Discord forever. And then on top of that, we're going to be running poker tournaments that will kind of they'll be free.
Right.
All you need to be in the tournament.
It's my favorite part of the tournaments.
There you go. They're free.
Yeah.
But you'll need to have the token in order to play in them. But there'll be like prize pools and stuff like.
Right.
And so it's that. And honestly, it's been pretty fun so far because, the community tournaments, they get 100, 150 people or something. But you're developing kind of like it really is a community that's being built. And it's cool, and it's niche. Like the NFT world is not necessarily like there's a ton of poker being played, but everyone just wants to keep it casual and just no one actually wants to spend that much effort. So you have to kind of really you just find there are people that exist that really want to learn. Like they're in our Discord and they're loving it, know. But you just have to really build that up and build up kind of like the offerings.
I feel so. I have a lot of. I don't know if you know this. My girlfriends in Israel, my G unit, actually, the group
course.
chat, right?
Yeah.
Yes. The not the GG, the G unit. They
Is it like the Gadal unit or what is it?
I think it was just like girls group.
Okay.
One of our friends, Gabby, likes to say that it was named after her, but I don't think it was Gabs. Like I just don't know.
I don't know.
But that group, they meet up and play poker a lot. They started after I fucking moved out of Israel, which was really, quite frankly, rude of them. But it's fine. You know, I'm not trying to bring that up now. But they've been playing. They play. I don't know. They play every so often, and they've really wanted to learn. Like they've actually started diving in. They have this woman that like helps them out and things like that. And it's obviously lots of fun and games. You know, they're not playing for tons of money or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I told them that I was having you on, and they sent some joke questions in like that are, just so stupid. They're like, how do we win? How do we take the money and run? But I do feel like there's a big market for it. Cause it's kind of, remember when, what was that show? Queen's Gambit? You know, that chess show? I feel like poker kind of has the appeal of chess to a certain extent.
It does.
Where it's just a cool mental game that people would love to learn how to play and also to be good at. It's quite an impressive skill to be able to, I think also, especially as a female, you know, if like a bunch of guys are playing and then you can pull up at the table and beat some people, like that's an exciting fucking time.
I agree with everything you're saying. I think that personally, poker teaches a lot of things about life that I would have never have like kind of understood, like a calculated risk. And it also just, I personally think everyone should at least understand the concepts of poker by losing or winning or whatever, but just playing with some money that they like can afford to lose, because it really, there's so many emotions that are felt within the game of poker. Sometimes like the luck happens. My friend, LA friend, he one-outed someone in a casual.
What's a one-out?
Well, he had tens versus aces on a 10 ace board.
Okay.
So he had to hit the 110 left to win the hand.
Got it.
Out of the 40 whatever.
Oh, he had one out.
One out.
Got it.
So like that type of emotion that's
so
like,
fucking exhilarating. Holy
like,
shit.
You're just like what? And then the other guy's like, oh, you know, and it's like stuff like that doesn't always happen. And a lot of it maybe is boring, but also you might also feel some, you know, it's like pain and anguish, but also like elation, but also just like, you know, it feels cool to like, or bluffing someone. Like you ever bluff someone
so
live?
exciting.
It's like riveting. You're like, your heartbeat starts kind of, you know.
You get these sunglasses on and you just fucking nail it.
Yeah. Actually, sunglasses are a great thing to use.
I was going to tell you to wear sunglasses today just to add add a little touch.
No.
No, I hear that. I think that there's a huge market for LionShare. I really do. I feel like there's a lot of people. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people who once they hear about it, they just need to, the word needs to get out. And I think because NFTs are still kind of niche, you know, everyone's always like, we're early. Okay, but there's like millions of people involved now. So we're a little bit like media. You were fucking early. You were a renegade. Like it was just ridiculous how early you were. And I feel like once NFTs become a bit more popular and see the mainstream, then people will start coming through to LionShare. And also, you know, what was that movie, the one with about Molly's Game?
Yeah, Molly's Game.
We need another poker movie like that to come out. Maybe one on Black Friday that's kind of exhilarating and exciting.
I did write a script. I didn't wite the script. My friend, like during quarantine, we kind of started like doing some stuff with it, but like it never really like materialized. But I mean, because there's a whole other story that I didn't really get into about my like
Black Friday experience.
No, the way that I like came up with like an old friend who's since passed away.
Lil
Holdem.
Yeah, Lil Holdem.
Yeah, like that's like he's a story in itself, and I would love to like tell his like story.
Yeah, give me a bit of Lil Holdem, because he sounds like such an interesting character.
I mean, he was basically just like I think he you know. He was a little troubled, you know. He had some. I think his like parents were not really there. There were some issues there, and then he went to jail, and then he came out, and like I'm like this 22-year-old like, you know,
Jewish
goofy,
Olive Garden worker,
Jewish kid, and he's just like kind of like from the hood, but we're from Coral Springs, same city.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not like that hood in Coral Springs. It's a pretty like nice like planned city, you know. Not much crime, but still like he did not have a good upbringing, and he like was just like so like raw, you know, the way like his emotions and stuff.
Wait,
and
where did you meet him?
at Ben's poker game.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah.
So you met through, did Ben know him separately?
He would like go to
Kind
like
of.
the Hard Rock Casino, which was only 10 minutes away from us where we lived, and like
Okay.
try to recruit some people. And then like I guess like this Chad had just gotten out of jail with like a couple other people that he
Wait,
was
Chad
recruiting.
was his
Oh,
real
they were
name?
pool hustlers.
Okay.
So
okay.
they were like, he was hanging with the pool hustlers, I guess. And then
Those hilarious terms.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I ended up like just connecting with Chad of all people. And that's how we saw eye to eye.
But
on
Chad is
poker.
Lil Holdem, right? That's his real name?
Yeah,
Got
sorry.
It. Got it.
And I mean, that was super cool. I mean, just kind of finding someone that you actually could like talk poker with, and then I like kind of put him in some poker tournaments and stuff, and he did well, and then he just took off and became one of the best poker players in the world.
Holy shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big deal. Do you feel like you guys were at the same level when you first met?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think we were still at the same level for a long time. But he just kind of had that, like, he had some sixth sense. Like back then you didn't need to be by the book to win. Now you need to have like some really good like foundational like poker skills. But back then he would just like understand somehow through the internet, like feel the pulse of someone's like mouse clicks or something. I know it sounds so weird, but in the moment, like people would act really. I mean, online poker can be a very fast game. You can almost
It is so fast, and people are
Yeah.
playing like at six tables or whatever at one go. It's crazy.
Yeah. And there were things that you would see him doing. You would try to replicate it, and you'd be out of the tournament, and he'd be chip lead. You know, like
So did he get big at all in person poker, or was he?
the first tournament he ever played in that was like a serious one. He won it.
No way.
It was like he went to like Indiana to play some World Series poker circuit event, or like, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and just like took it down. You're like,
God, that's so crazy. Some people I feel like just have that. He was like a little poker prodigy.
yeah, but the thing is that he kind of like never really fit in because he had a grill. He would wear like a do-rag.
He had a grill? I
he's
love
like
that.
5'4" white dude who just like grill, like do-rag, and like he kind of just like, but like he's like, he had such a great heart, you know, and he just like, you know, but it was still like he always kind of had to deal with that like aspect of it, where he's going to Indiana, you know, to just play this poker tournament and then wins it. And it's like people, so like with Helmuth, people react in certain ways to him. They play certain ways because, like you were saying, you expect, like, it's kind of like what you were saying about the Twitch thing,
Right, yeah.
where you expect me to do stuff. So you're not really playing your game. You're expecting, you're trying to like counteract my game.
Right.
And that's not the place you want to be when you're playing against like a really good player, I guess. So Helmuth, that's like you're playing into his kind of, and the same thing would kind of happen with Lil Holdem, where like he would sense that these people were getting like, kind of, I was saying online, he would sense this person was like really irritated at just like, for whatever reason, you know, like because also back in like the 2000s, poker was a really emotional game. I mean, you would raise someone and then like
they would get pissed off.
They'd be like, "You can't raise my big blind. Try that again. Do that one more time." They'd yell at you at the table, and it was like comical.
Honestly,
you know?
It's funny because whenever I'm playing online, I do that kind of. That's why I play so recklessly. Because when someone raises me, I'm like, "Fuck you."
Exactly.
Like, who do you think you are?
But you're doing it online. Everyone would just
with fake money.
yeah, but like people would just be yelling at each other and like, "How could you? What are you doing there, man?" Like, and then someone would just like, I don't know. It's hilarious. But
Now it's all about being quiet, right? You gotta like keep your cards to your chest
because you don't really want to. That would be funny though, if like a guy's just like, you know, in the head, just like I'm all in.
That'd be hilarious.
But I mean, yeah, like you for me, I talk in a hand, I'm giving stuff away. Also, I had this one thing that I realized at some point where if I didn't talk for like 20, 30 minutes, and then I would have to say something like in a hand, like maybe I need change live, or sometimes it would be I'm all in. I would like, my voice would like squeak. Because I haven't used it in a while or whatever. It'd be like, I'm all in. It wasn't really like a tell, but it just would kind of happen. So I had to stop saying even that, and I would just be like this.
That's actually hilarious. I don't know if I could. That's the one thing about if I could go a whole poker game without talking, wow.
I get that because I've been in cars before with like a friend who like is definitely an introvert, and I'll be like, I should probably stop talking for a little bit because I've been talking for a while, and then 2 minutes later I'm mentioning some sign I see as we're driving.
Can't fucking help it.
It's impossible.
And I think I would just have so many tells. I can't imagine that I would not give things away. But my thought would be, if I didn't talk and then I did speak, you know, on occasion, it would be more telling than if I spoke the whole time and I just fucked up the table with my laughter. Then everybody would be just so confused and like nobody would know.
Some people are good at that though. You may actually.
Nobody
it seems
would
like
know.
you're kind of good. Like you talk so like
You talk so much.
You talk so much that
You
you're like
don't
kind
shut
of good
up.
at like still like function. You know, like some people if they can't talk and do something at once.
The focus.
Whereas it seems like you can kind of still like work on the fly a little bit.
Yeah, I am a multitasker, although I'm assuming the ladies' game would be full of multitasking. So it would just be
There you go.
But yeah, I always think about that. What would my strategy be? Would I just be silent the whole time, or would I would love to wear sunglasses.
I can't be silent the whole time. I try it and then I get
So
bored and I
hard.
start talking, and then I'm like, oh, Adam, you're saying too much. And then I stop talking, but then I still keep like.
There's no fucking way I can't crack some jokes. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit at this table?
Well, also like, yeah, I mean, it's just tough to sit there. I just at some point I was like, this is just a lot of time for me to spend sitting at a poker table with people I don't really want to sit at.
Yeah,
while I'm trying to make some money, but like it's fun initially, but then you gotta just like, I don't know. But as it gets deeper, you get focused.
Yeah, you have to. Once there's hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars on the line between each spot, you're like, holy shit, I need to pay attention here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that shit gets crazy. Okay, so anyways, LionShare, just want to remind everybody, so they should go check that out. Where can they find the links? Because I don't want people clicking on random shit.
Yeah, I mean it's
The Twitter maze.
Well, you just go LionShare Poker Twitter, or you go like to the Discord,
And then through the Discord.
.gg/LionShare Poker, and pretty much that. You can follow me or Steve or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't realize you had such a big Twitter following either. Did you get that from NFTs, or was that mostly from poker?
But like I was actually losing followers for a while, like leading up to NFTs.
Why? Just because?
Because like I just wasn't really playing poker that much, and like I had like I was kind of like trying to figure stuff out, and then also like I've been on for so long that there's probably just a lot of dormant accounts or this or that, and like it's just also like the people that were following me maybe a decade ago are not necessarily interested. Maybe what I have to say now because I'm not playing poker as much or whatever.
Phil's not yelling at him now.
By the way, if you ever want here's some free social media advice. Just say some nice stuff to Phil. He will always favorite.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he'll always like it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you just be like, hey, Phil, like I like what you're wearing today. Like,
all right, let me record a little segment for Phil. Phil, you're just so wonderful, man. You're just so lovely. Wow, all the love to Phil. Okay, so you stopped playing poker to go work for Rocket League. Is that what it's called?
Not exactly.
How did that play out?
So basically, I just like kind of had my like I've realized that because of Black Friday and me playing poker for so long and this and that and being in the world, like I needed to change something in my life, even though I had no idea what it was, and I was always kind of searching for it. Like I wanted to get out of poker before Black Friday, and then I kind of got roped back into it.
Wait, when was Black Friday again? What year?
2011.
Oh, so you wanted to leave poker before? I feel like that's not having played for that long, right? What is that, 6 years?
No, I mean 2003. It was like 8 years, but it was like a whirlwind. It was wild back then. Like towards the end, before Black Friday, I was playing probably like $10,000 in buy-ins on a Tuesday.
Oh shit!
Like just like a random Tuesday, and all of a sudden you're just like that's So like the swings were wild, and I was just like, I'm playing this. I'm good at this. It's getting tougher, but also like, what else is there? And I was actually like writing up like a video game bar, like per business plan or whatever then. And it just kind of...
That's kind of cool.
It was cool, but
Okay.
like, I'm glad I didn't do it because it would have been a money sink that they don't really work.
A horrible video game? Is that what you're saying?
No, a video game bar.
What is that?
Like as in like you go and you play like, esports or whatever.
Oh,
game.
at a video game bar.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been fun, but also like apparently they just don't really work the way that they should.
I think they would work if, but you would have you would have just hit all of this shit now, no?
Yeah, but I would have been too early.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is that was kind of like what the whole Rocket League thing was. I always loved video games. I love racing. I wanted to be a race car driver growing up. I wanted to love racing, and then I loved soccer. I played FIFA. I would play 12 hours of poker, and then I'd play a couple games of FIFA, and it'd be like my brain like...
So bad at FIFA. What the fuck is that thing where they give you the little preview where you're like, here, test out your remote, see if you can shoot into this thing before you start the game?
Yeah.
Never worked for me. I kept trying to hit the button to shoot, and the leg would just not even move. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know. I mean, but yeah, it's a fun game because you just like hit the ball and eventually, you know.
I love watching people play FIFA because the commenters on it, they're so funny. They'll just say the player's name, and then there'll be dead silence across. They'll be like, Rooney. And that's it. That's the whole commentary.
As the ball gets hit.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's so and they're so great. I love that.
My Mexican friend, my buddy JC, he would sometimes switch the commentary to
Spanish
on FIFA, but no, not to Spanish, to Mexican Spanish. And like the way that they were pronounced certain things, there was like this one guy named like Patrick Duff or something, and they would be like doof, doof. I really just want to go back to it. And I think they'd have like sayings like, was it La Bonita es la Bonita? Or like the beautiful is the beautiful. I don't know. It's just like goal, you know. It's a trip.
I love when they scream goal. Whenever we watch the World Cup, I would always change it to Spanish. It's so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
She gets so crazy in Spanish. They're like, goal!
Yeah, okay, I understand that word.
Yeah, you're like, wonderful. Well, I speak Spanish. I don't speak sports announcer Spanish.
No.
There's a big difference. Let's get that straight. You know
I
what
agree.
I mean? Sports announcer, it's like watching the news in another. I can't, I speak minimal Hebrew. I don't speak news level Hebrew.
No, you understand the player names at least, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay, wait. So Rocket League.
So Rocket League, what happened was I just needed to find myself, and I was living in Vegas at the time, and I straight up just like didn't even break a lease. I was like, I'm leaving, guys, like with some poker buds, and just went to LA trying to work actually with Darwin.
Oh, no way.
And like
wow, you guys have known each other for that long?
No, actually I met him in 2010.
No way.
2009 maybe, because I did like a spot for some like video game versus like skill versus luck like news thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I was still in high school. I was literally a sophomore.
There you go.
It's a really good time.
There you go. But so I kind of like saw what he was doing, but also didn't really have any business skills whatsoever to kind of like understand how like what to do or anything. And eventually it was like, he knew like I've always had like this knack to kind of see like kind of trends happening. And he knew that I did, but also like they couldn't really like, it was like kind of like I had to like do it like kind of myself, but I kind of needed like it was like there was
You're
guidance,
figuring out a way to how to monetize that skill
there was
set.
so much stuff
Right.
that I also had to like understand how to be like a human, like
outside of the poker world.
Outside of the poker world,
right.
Like there are certain things where I'm just like, and somehow I decided I was going to go keto that year in the midst of all this change.
Wait, you went keto? Was keto even a thing back then?
2016, yeah.
What the wait, oh, this was 2016?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, like eventually I told Darwin about Rocket League.
Okay.
And he was like, dude, just start like, throwing events for it. So I like did like downstairs from like his office.
What kind of events are you throwing? How does that even work?
It was just called Rocket League and Beers. And it was a Tuesday night, and I just like straight up like had the bartender like ghetto rig like I brought in Xboxes, brought some controllers, and just like started. But it was right when Rocket League was really like
shooting off.
Not even shooting up. It was like like getting ready to shoot up. Like it hadn't really like crested. And I did that, and then the second time I ran it, I guess one of the commentators like caught wind that I was doing it.
Commentators of what? Of Rocket League?
Rocket League.
Okay.
And then he brought the entire Rocket League like commentator team. Some of them are still doing commentary to this day. It's kind of like the bonus of living in LA. Sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like that couldn't have happened anywhere else because they happen to all be there for, you know, the commentary.
That's why
gigs.
I can't fucking move right now. I want to move for taxes, but then I mean, I don't get the Rocket League announcers.
You
know
don't.
What I mean?
You know,
it's
you
just
don't.
like fuck.
It's just, I call it the serendipity of LA, which is like kind of
trade-off.
like just the randomness that I'm here for.
Yeah, so true.
So
so that's fucking cool.
And it was like, yeah, and then I threw I think like 5 or 6 of them, but eventually it was like, you know, I kind of still had to do a lot of like me, like I had to really work on myself, and it was like, this is cool, but this wasn't really like a money thing, and I didn't really have the.
Were you charging entry for this thing?
No, not yet, but like it definitely could have built up. But also one thing that was weird was Rocket League really didn't want to be associated with beer. And instead of just being like, could you just change the name? They were like,
wait, why? That's so funny.
Because it's a kid game, you know, I guess.
Okay.
And I was just like, but like, you know,
it's such an American thing.
Yeah.
Like, beer is not a big deal. Relax.
Yeah. But then it was like they were like, oh, try this G Fuel or something, you know, like, which is like
what the fuck is that? Gatorade?
It's basically just like corn syrup, like, you know, like or whatever it is, you know, it's like it's
essentially worse for you than beer.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, well, 21 or older, promote, you know, and it's like, I'm sorry, I don't know, I just started this thing, we can, you know, but so eventually I was just like, all right, this was cool. I'm really glad I did it because it taught me a lot about like events and promoting and this and that. But I eventually had to be like, I'm like not really making much money, and I'm not really. I like took so long. Went so far away from poker that like I like didn't have any income coming in, you know, anymore.
How many people were showing up to these things?
It was like, I think we peaked at like maybe 30 to 35 people or whatever.
Oh, that's
One
good.
time we had a 9-year-old kid get third.
Holy shit.
His dad hit me up on Reddit and was like, can I bring him
Wow.
to a bar? And I was like, yeah. And then like the next time, like a 15-year-old kid won.
Nice.
So yeah, I thought about doing like a talent agency for a while, but ultimately
For gamers?
Yeah, we kind of got rugged there.
You would have been you got rugged, but you would have been fucking early for that because that's a big thing now.
Yeah,
Holy
I know.
shit.
Actually, like, yeah, the guy, yeah.
You would have lined up nicely for Twitch coming out.
It didn't really work out. We kind of, you know, but it was also like, I didn't really know what I was doing.
Well,
like,
you can't be early for everything, Adam. Like, save
No,
some
I
things
know.
for, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
you've been early for every freaking trend. Imagine if you had gone into that, though. That's crazy. The whole gamer world now is insane.
Yeah, but I'm very happy that I didn't.
Okay.
Because like, even though I was early to it, I'm like a gamer, but not really like it feels like it would have been like kind of like so I think part of me is like I mean I guess it's me being a little maybe self I feel like I'm somewhat of a personality.
Yeah, you definitely are a personality.
I don't like I do have a personality. Everyone has a personality. It is a fact.
Yes.
So if I had done this talent agency thing, I feel like I may have been like in a little like too deep, and also not really doing. It would have just been like, cool, this is like making money or whatever, but it's not really like fun for me.
It's not really fulfilling you.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about production now. As much as I mean, I love podcasting. Obviously, I'm doing all of this myself here, and it's so much fun. And I'm great at the tech stuff. I've been video editing since fucking forever, but I'm trying to move out of that. I'm trying to I want somebody here doing all of this work so I can just do this because this is what I enjoy the most. And I think
that's why you do all that stuff for this.
Yeah. Like I would also be a killer agent. I thought about that when Entourage was out. Like, I would just rock it as Ari Gold.
I love Entourage.
Oh my God.
It's definitely one of my favorite shows of all time.
Such a good show. I wish I was famous back then so I could have had a cameo.
You know, they're trying to reboot and do you know the Entourage podcast?
Yes, with Doug Ellen, right?
Doug Ellen, Kevin Connolly, and then Kevin Dillon.
Yes,
and then
yes.
They still haven't had Vince on. There's like some riff there, but apparently they're trying to do a reboot. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
God, a reboot would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is I need to have a rise before the reboot so I can have a cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
This would be freaking perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Well, Emmanuel Shrieky, she's like a Moroccan Jew from Montreal.
Oh yeah, she's been on the podcast a few times. She seems super nice.
She's super nice. She's really close friends with Noah Tishby, who I am obviously close to. I love her. Do you know who that is?
Vaguely.
We used to do hummus Thursdays together on Clubhouse. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, hummus.
Hummus Thursdays. Yeah, everyone's with their hummus. Okay, so then when did you left poker though for the pandemic?
So,
you were
like,
working, right, at a company?
Yeah, but I kind of want to push it back because this was kind of a wild thing that happened to me.
Okay, let's get the
so
wild
basically
thing.
Rocket League, whatever, it doesn't really work. I decide, you know what, I'm in LA for a year, maybe 2 or whatever, and it's just not hitting. I go back to poker, but before I go back to, like, I pack up. I don't have a place. I just kind of vagabond around for a bit, travel
Classic
here, travel
LA
there.
human being.
Yeah, and I make a 6-month plan.
Okay.
For January 2019 to like end in. And one of the, I called it like a sub-reality. I don't know. I was having fun. I was smoking
Look at
weed.
you early on the meta shit too.
There you go.
Sub-reality.
Sub-reality.
Create your own poker
I'll
realm.
have you know that meta game has been used in Magic for like since like 95.
Has it? We
Yeah.
have an inside joke in my family about my uncle who's very meta because he's an epidemiologist. It's a whole thing. Meta analysis and all of that shit. So when now it's like,
You're
but
like,
yeah, it's another time. Okay,
So I wrote in one of them, I'm gonna live, like, it was like, okay, like maybe I'm living in Florida, maybe I'm living here, but one of them was I'm gonna live with my two DJ friends,
Okay.
two podcasters,
Okay.
and then like it would just be us in one house.
Talk about a D-gen crew.
It literally what was those people to a T that we ended up living in.
Okay.
I said house in like Echo Park or whatever, and it was all of us living in that one like house. I predicted it basically in one of
Wow.
my realities.
Wow.
I know, and so I thought that was like, it was just nuts that was at. And it was every single
Do you
person
think you
that I
predicted it or manifested it?
mixture,
Bit of
yeah.
both?
Yeah, I mean, but it was definitely, it had to have been a manifestation because like I literally, and I'm not really that like into all that.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have a bunch of crystals and shit?
No
Vision
crystals.
board.
but when it was literally every single person I had written down on my 6-month plan, it was like it was too real, you know.
Do you feel like you were in that direction though? That's why you had listed those people and that's why it was in your plan?
I always wanted to come back to LA, and I always knew that I was going to make a company with this guy Brandon, who I was living with, and then that's how we started this thing called Games and Grooves, which is an events company blending. It's kind of like Rocket League, kind of.
Okay.
And it was like we had FIFA, Mario Kart, cornhole. He DJ'd.
Cornhole, like the
Yeah.
what you call it? What are those? The fair game. Yeah,
Bean
yeah.
bags or whatever.
Yeah. They play them at the fairs.
Yeah.
I showed bunnies at fairs.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
another time. So wait, so you started, what's it called?
Games and Grooves.
Games and Grooves. You started that with Brandon.
Yeah, and then another friend Sean, and then like we just started like through like 12 events. We threw for some like private events for like esports organizations and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
and
fun.
it was like, and it was only within a year, and then the pandemic happened. But the last event was like our like pinnacle. Because it was like a 1-year anniversary, 6 hours, Angel City Brewery in Arts District, and like
That's a great place for an event like
oh
that.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like it took us so long. I did like location scouting. It took us so
Wow.
long to find like the right event.
It's funny because when you were talking about cornhole, I actually thought about that place in my head because they have a bunch of weird games there, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could, and it was perfect because there was enough space. So we built like some custom cornhole boards. Would bring them in, and
Yeah,
I mean,
that's sick.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
So that was January 2020.
yeah.
But then you continued this through the pandemic, no? Or like to some
I know it was
extent?
February 2020, and then
Sorry,
like the
February.
pandemic happened, and then just like can't really do events anymore.
But you continued working you guys continued the company, no? To a certain extent?
Somewhat, yeah, but it was still just like, like, hey, we'll see how is this going to be 2 weeks or 2 years, And,
Fast forward, woo!
yeah, so, and then, but like so then I got a job as like a fraud reviewer, which is kind of like, I tried for 3 months to play poker, and it didn't work out.
Why? Because you were just losing?
I mean, I was break even, which is like, okay, fine. But I just didn't have the heart anymore. Just be like grinding. Like even if it's just through COVID and stuff, I was just like tapped out, I guess.
Wait, grinding with poker, is that specifically used for online poker, that term?
It's just any, like when you're spending like hours of the day like playing,
Just
like,
playing poker.
Yeah, it's like you're like in the grind, you know,
It's like
trying to eke
Clubhouse.
out like the dollars.
I swear that's literally what Clubhouse was when we first got on. That was I mean, it wasn't like intentional grind, but people were on there for fucking 12 hours, 14 hours.
Yeah, you were grinding Clubhouse.
My screen time was an atrocity.
Yes.
It was scary.
Yeah, it
Every
was.
time the Apple would send me the notification, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? This is so fucking rude.
Please don't tell me.
Yeah, like who needs to know this? Not me. Okay, so you worked for a fraud. What the fuck? Because there's so many scams now. Do you have any sort of expertise in that area because of this fraud thing?
I mean, not really in like the NFT world or anything, but like I understand, kind of small little. Actually, I mean, there was like something that happened a couple weeks ago or whatever, where I like literally like there's tricks of the trade that you can like do with like fraud or whatever to just kind of like be like, oh, like there's like a random like websites where you just like fast people search or something or whatever it is. You just like look and like it's just like like oh, like I can figure out this is a real person. That's basically what you're doing.
Oh, interesting. I use that with Jen Kopfer has she has a subscription to like Spokio or one of those number lookup things, maybe White Pages or some shit.
Yeah.
So whenever I get anybody's number that I'm unsure about, I send it to her. I'm like, run this number for me.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like a fucking FBI agent.
Yeah, that's like they're like public websites or whatever, and then obviously you can get stuff that's like more private, and then like there's a lot of like data that you look in, and it's kind of fascinating. It was and it's poker players that started it, and it kind of made sense. Company called Approved, APRUVD. Got to give them a name drop because like they were great to me. I love working for them. Yeah. But and it's like the whole thing is like if you start your startup and you're selling freaking like, jars, mason jars, and everyone wants your mason jars. You're not going to think about how to deal with the fraudsters once they come. And when they come, they're going to completely like crush your business because you're not going to know what's happening for a long time. And you're not even really looking for it. You're just happy to be making all this money.
Wait, how does that explain how that happens? I'm so curious. So you guys would prevent fraud for businesses.
Well, you would outsource it.
If I was a business, I would outsource my fraud department to you guys.
Or you think about it from the start and have a fraud team, but like it's kind of like one of those things where it's like it's pointless until it really matters.
Right, because you're not going to spend money on a fraud team.
So you just outsource the fraud.
But what are the frauds that you're talking about now that can happen at a company if you're selling mason jars, let's say?
I mean,
we're obviously a hippie in Los Angeles working at the flea market.
I mean, like, there's different types of things like sometimes just like someone just takes like a old person's card or something. Okay. Or like sometimes like apparently it's just you can't really.
But how would it decimate your business is what I'm trying to understand.
Well, because like you're not really going to know what's happening because you're not really like you're just cool, another order from this one or whatever, another order here or whatever. And you're not like looking at like the credit cards or something or even matching that like.
Right. So then later they claim fraud and then you have a chargeback kind of
something
thing.
like that. Yeah.
But does that happen on such like why are groups of fraudsters targeting one business to such an extreme? Do you know what I mean? Like how many fucking mason jars are you trying to order from this one company?
Well, because people just scam. It's just like it's like there's someone in Tennessee or somewhere where they're just like low income and they just need to make some money and they just $30 here. Cool. Well, let's try it again. Another $30 or whatever it is, and they can sell this somewhere else and just get some money from it.
God, and then it's completely free money for them, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy. I'm actually going to do a whole solo episode on common scams that are happening now because I feel like, after all of the sugar daddy scams that I have encountered now.
Sugar daddy scams?
Oh my God, these are the craziest things ever. So there's this in DMs, they'll message you like, hey, I want to be your sugar daddy. Like, I want to send you money every week, just an allowance, whatever it is. And I've played along with quite a few of them because I'm just so curious to what the scam is. And I like to see what the scam play is. And the first one, what was the first one? What was that? Fuck, how was he trying to scam? I forgot what it was. It was like he wanted, That's what it is. He was going to send the money, but he could only do it through PayPal. But on PayPal, there's fees, and the receiver has to pay the fees. So I have to send the money for the fees, so that way he could send the money to me for my allowance, right? That was his scam. Horrible scam. I'm thinking to myself, like, this is god-awful. The second scam that I encountered was the check scam. This one was really clever. They send you a check that you can deposit, but it's like obviously a photo. I'm not giving one my fucking address, but it's a fake check, obviously, and you deposit it. And most banks will have this sort of like grace period where they just deposit a check even if it doesn't clear. So it goes into your account, and then they ask you to send a portion of that money back or to some random thing or in Bitcoin or whatever it is. Mine specifically wanted me to send, I think, on Venmo or something to somebody. Anyways, it was so ridiculous. And
and then they'll have to take the money out from you if it's
from
like,
the check. Yeah, the check. So then the bank a week later will see that this check is bad, and then they take all of that money, and then you've also lost the money because you sent money over.
Wow.
And that's a creative one for people who aren't so with it. But you can actually call the banks that are assigning these checks, and you can read them the check number and see if it's legitimate or not. So that's like one way that you can figure that out. Anyways, I'm going to do a whole episode on it because it's so crazy. And there's the SIM card swap scams.
I mean, maybe if you want, you could get the my boss from approved because
I actually would love that.
I'll send him your way because he is so. After a while, you start seeing patterns. Like I'd be like, oh, like this is good, like okay, like because sometimes you get like a lot of corporate, I don't know how much he can really like reveal about the ins and outs of all of it, but like he could talk for days about fraud because there's some fascinating things, and like also sometimes you're like, oh wow, like this was like a cruise ship that was just like they were just shipping for like a cruise ship or something. Okay, cool, like I get it. Like you have to figure out like what is their like story.
Interesting.
Kind of. And but there's a lot of them where you're just like, I don't know, and then like but so it is kind of like poker because you're playing like a hand where you're like, I won't necessarily know if I was
scammed
right or wrong on this approve or not for a long time because of like a chargeback or something.
Oh, and chargebacks are what, 60 days or some shit?
Yeah, like it varies, but they could take a while. But and he so I probably did while I was there like 100,000 like reviews, and he's probably done like over 1 million, probably more.
So
and
explain.
So his level of expertise
is just so on the cuff.
Yeah.
But explain to me what it is that you specifically did. You reviewed these individual charges for the businesses. Is that what it was? And you sort of guessed. You were like, this
it would
is
be
good
an
or
order
bad
or whatever, and like and
got
just
it.
like, oh okay, like sometimes like they're maybe they're getting a car part or something.
Wait, can we talk about that company? Is that why you mentioned that company? Because you would have seen all of their orders?
We probably should.
Okay, we won't mention it. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm not pointing to anything over here.
Probably shouldn't, but.
That's hilarious. Okay, cool. All right, interesting. Okay, so now we have to get into NFTs because you are like so fucking early on NFT. By the way, do you have a hard stop? Because we're going for a while.
Not really, no. I mean, we've been here for a bit.
We've been here for a while.
I feel like we're
at 1 hour 44. That's crazy. We're tapering off.
What's the longest you've done?
Oh, I've gone for a while.
Okay.
But I mean, it just depends.
I mean, I like these because it's just so. I mean, this feels like my first Rogan pod where we're just like really just leaning in and just talking about things.
If I had like whiskey and a bunch of joints on the table.
Yeah, like, do you have like a knife to gift me or something?
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Here, a nice knife.
But I mean, I feel like NFTs are like a good like kind of like we can
ender.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's gonna be some people who will turn it off right now.
Oh no, please.
They're like, oh no, we're getting into crypto.
Yeah.
What? No, we have to talk about NFTs. You were so I wish I didn't make fun of you. I wish. You guys, here's me saying that I did something really wrong. Okay. When you were talking about NFTs on Clubhouse, this was such early days. It was literally this time last year, about give or take.
It might have been like December, November.
Yeah.
Of 2020.
Which is insane to think about. And you were so heavily into it. And I remember seeing all the people on Clubhouse with the laser eyes.
Yeah.
That was such a big little trend for a while with the Bitcoin. And then the NFTs came on, and that was like a whole thing. But how did you even get into NFTs? How did you see that potential from then? And did you even see it, or did you just like it?
So my first NFT was actually in 2000, like January 2018. CryptoKitties.
Oh, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, like because poker players, we have a lot of time on our hands if we're not playing. We're just on the internet doing whatever. And a lot of poker players were in Bitcoin. A lot of poker players were in Ethereum. And then Dapper Labs, people behind NBA Top Shot, which I feel like you probably have heard of by now. They came up with CryptoKitties. And that was like the first like use case for NFTs, even though they did nothing. All they did was like you could breed little kitties.
I was going to say, what is the use case for CryptoKitties?
No,
Just
nothing.
Making more kitties?
I still have them in my wallet. They're the first NFTs I ever bought. They've never been sold. No one wants them.
Are they valuable?
I mean, the early ones are. They're like, they can go for like $1 million or something.
Oh, Jesus.
But like the ones that I have, like, but actually I made.
How many do you have? And can you airdrop me one?
I could actually, I did airdrop Amanda Johnstone one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just like a while back. I just was like, here you go. There's one. Because, so it's funny enough because that kind of ties into the Bored Ape like weekend. But so
you got it in 2018.
Kind of.
I mean, not got in, but you accidentally.
I've had Ethereum since 2016.
Okay.
And I just kind of like was very much involved with like the space, believed in it, and then the whole like there was a bear market in like 2018.
Bear market is good, right? Or is bear market bad?
Bull is good.
Bull, I got it.
Yeah, like
well, that's very rude
bears
to
going
bears.
to hibernate. And that's kind of. And,
is that the whole theory?
Yeah, and like we really.
Let's not tell the bears that.
Yeah, no.
It's so upsetting.
So the hype in 2018 was so. Like it was euphoric. Everyone was just like, "We're going to the moon." It was very childish. You know, like you ever hear that now? It's like in every like seasoned vet is like, "We ain't going to the moon. We're just happy to have like where we're at right now."
Yeah.
You know,
we're at most going to the atmosphere, guys.
Yeah. Let's at least just go on a little flight. So what ended up happening was that kind of just like and I think Ethereum is at like 1,500 a peak then, and back in like 2019 or like beginning of January, like right around COVID, it was at like $80. So all of our money was just like, we just all held for too long and believed in it because we believed in the long-term tech of it all.
Yeah.
And at some point I went on a podcast called like Crypto Basic, which is now like no longer a thing, where my friends and I, we just talked about crypto and stuff and some scams too. There's some fascinating ones out there.
Yeah. Crypto scams are crazy.
Yeah. And there's one dude who faked his death.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, or allegedly, like
Quadriga.
You could just look that up.
What does that even mean? He faked his death, and then what happened?
The keys were gone. His wife didn't know where the keys were to all the money, like the private keys to get like all the money.
Oh, so he that's how he left his wife? Is that the whole thing?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like,
so he didn't want to get divorced.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't want to get divorced and he just pieced out.
He didn't want to pay alimony. Let's be real.
Yeah, he was like, I died.
Wow.
No, but like that one's a fascinating one. There's a podcast on that one.
It reminds me of what was it? Was it in Curb? My dad always tells me this episode. Might have been Seinfeld, where he fakes his death just to have a funeral or something, or he has a funeral while he's alive.
Oh yeah, that was this year.
Yeah,
it was. I forget who it was, but it was like some dude.
Yeah, one of their friends or whatever.
He's like, you're having a funeral while you're alive, but it was Albert Brooks.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. There we go.
So that like whole so. Along the lines of like this Crypto Basic podcast, I would pick out like news pieces or whatever, and like we would talk about NFTs, but there weren't really any like. It was just like an abbreviation where we kind of understood what they were, but like had never actually seen anything actually work. And then Top Shot rolled around in early 2021.
Oh, were they that early?
They were there in like June 2019 was when the beta started.
Interesting.
But like, and what's crazy is that I reported on Top Shot on that podcast.
No
but then
way.
Didn't sign up. All I had to do was literally just sign up for my email and I would get notifications, but just didn't. And because of that, like I didn't get in on, I could have been even earlier.
How much money could you have made?
Some of the Top Shot guys are deep 8 figures. If they were like that early, they are cushy.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's because I'm Moroccan. I'm so late to everything. It's so fucking upsetting.
I don't know Moroccan stereotypes, but I mean, I guess that's.
It is. We're not just late. We're so late. But once we do arrive at the party, we come with a lot of stuff. Like
that's
food
great.
And good
that's
items.
Great. And you make up for it. You're like, I know I'm going to be late, so I need to have.
Yeah, but like I'll come with presents. You know what I mean?
So it's kind of like almost like because you know you're going to be late, you make all these things which make you late. So maybe if you didn't make the things, you wouldn't be late.
That's exactly the dilemma. That's literally what we say about my aunt. She's always late, but she always comes with so many lovely things.
Oh man. So I guess going back.
So Top Shot.
And so what happened was there's this poker or daily fantasy sports guy named Peter Jennings, like on Twitter, and he made this trade with James Harden got traded to the Nets.
Okay.
And when that happened, he paid $8,000 for this NBA Top Shot moment. And like I was like, because I've always respected Peter for like his investments and stuff, and I always followed him, and like we know each other. When he did that, that was immediately like so. I think people get carried away with like not understanding who and why they're doing it, and their ego of like being like, well, like I don't get it, so I don't care. Whereas just looking at being like, you don't have to get it. You just need to understand that someone else that is smart, that you value their opinion, is getting it.
And so you saw this big move and you were like, I see the value
I was like,
here.
what is going on here? Let me check this out. I bought some random packs, and like all of a sudden I had like, it was very small, like, $10 pack, cool, like it's worth $50 or whatever. And then like they started going up, and then I told my friends, and other people got into it, and then all of a sudden it became like there were clubhouses for Top Shot.
Yeah.
And like there were clubhouses. And by the way, when that was happening, Bleav, the DJ,
yeah, of course.
he was hosting NFT like clubhouses that had 18 people in them, like in like late 2020.
Think about that now.
Yeah, and it was like I the problem was I was late to Clubhouse. Darwin actually got me on it, but
Nicole got me on.
Yeah.
I was there in January 2021, I Bleav.
Yeah, but you came like guns a-blazing.
I did.
You were moderating right away.
Guns were in my fucking holster.
Yeah.
Like I was.
But so because I came late, I still like I kind of have it happened with spaces too, where I like it takes a little while for me to like start talking on them.
Yeah.
But once I do, I will. But like
so
so
find your people a bit.
Yeah. And like I just didn't go into those NFT rooms and ever like talk. And if I had just done that, it would have like maybe there was a little bit of ego too. Like I know NFTs too, but then from there, Top Shot. Then I found the Zed Run thing, which is like the horse racing stuff.
I don't know about that.
It's basically just like you'll be able to bet on the horses at some point
through NFTs, kind of a thing.
So basically you buy these horses. They can be raced. They can be bred.
Oh, cool. NFT horses.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great.
And then that you like simulate like the races and stuff.
That's such a great innovation to stop actual horse racing, because that's apparently not very good.
Yeah, apparently, but they're Australian, and in Australia, apparently they freaking love horse racing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Actually I am, because they're so lovely to the animals there, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It's just like one of the biggest sports, and it is. But and so this Australian team's just been working on that for years, and that kind of blew up, and then from there. Now we have two things where I'm like, Top Shot worked, Zed Run worked now. Whoa. I started doing some deep research on this stuff, and I was like, because like once like the Top Shot thing happened, it was validating, but it's hard because you have your friends who are so into crypto that I'm talking with, and they're like, NFTs, it's a fad. I'm like, dude. It is not a fad. You're not gonna make it. Like
NGMI, baby.
Yeah. And I was like, and then eventually I had a couple friends who started Linus actually. Right. Like we started really kind of seeing eye to eye on that.
Linus. Linus is lying to us. That's what it is.
Linus. But so me and him, we really started just kind of crushing it, like with like actually we didn't crush initially. We bought some like Gary V shield like NFT, of
course,
and then
it's a rite of passage, really.
Yeah, and then like eventually we really just kind of started seeing that this was. I mean, we knew it, and that's kind of why like me and him get along, is like we know we see the future in different ways, if it makes sense. And I know it sounds kind of ridiculous for me to say. But sometimes I am,
Adam, claim the prophet that you are.
No, I think sometimes I have a little trouble being present because I always think about like what the like, like this is a cool thing to do with that kind of thing instead of, which is like maybe a poker brain or whatever. But it fascinates me, like, where are we going to be, 5, 10, 20 years?
When did the Bored Ape start? Because you have, what, you have two?
No, I have one.
You have one, but you turned it into a mutant, didn't you?
Yeah.
So in theory you have two.
Sure, yeah.
Kind of, basically. When did you buy that? Did you buy it when it was really cheap?
That was later. So we got that for like 9 Ethereum, which was a big buy then.
That was actually, I was going to say.
But like, so what happened once again, and this is another one of those, like, if only I had answered that Discord ping or whatever.
Yeah.
Like somehow I went to bed on Friday night at like 11:30 p.m. I'm a night owl. I'm single. Like you shouldn't go to bed early on a Friday night. Like it's just not like,
it's bad for business.
You only have a finite amount of Fridays, as you get older. And I just saw a Discord ping from someone being like, these Bored Ape things are minting. And instead I was just like, I'm going to bed. And then I woke up in the morning and Linus was like, dude, this is the next wave.
Did it sell out by the time you woke up?
Yeah, but like it was still like at like half an ETH or something if you want to buy. So bought a few. I got some amazing ones.
Oh, fuck, you sold?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you just like, it's crazy how much bigger the NFT world has gotten.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to imagine. I mean, obviously you could project the growth because you're very good at seeing that kind of stuff. But I imagine it's very difficult to have been able to predict how big and how fast it would have grown.
Project the entire like world of NFTs growth, maybe.
Right.
But you can't necessarily specifically project that Bored Apes are somehow going to dethrone CryptoPunks in less than a year.
Yeah.
In 3 quarters almost.
Do you have a CryptoPunk?
I don't. Oh. I'm like, it's kind of whatever there. Like,
I mean, it's fine. I have none of these. So I'm fucking late as shit. I mean, if I had listened, the problem is, I think, first of all, I was broke when I first got into Clubhouse, far broker than I am now. And like, there's only so much you can do with a limited amount of money. You're not trying to spend $50 on a fucking JPEG. You know what I mean? When you're not thinking like, oh, this JPEG is going to change my whole life. This little blue cat is going to make me a 6-figure income within a year. You're just not thinking that way. So I do, I can always be like, oh, I'm late. But whatever, I'm early as Shanni in podcasting.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, when did Joe Rogan start? He was 30 something.
But also one thing, even though you want to say that you're late, like,
still early.
You're not really late. I'd say that if we had to be like, maybe we're 3rd inning, or like 3 out of 10 or something, because like the foundation has been laid.
Yeah.
I'd say like, like we're on the 1st floor still, even though we can actually live in the house of NFTs now. Whereas like, it's still like everything else is still being built. We still haven't seen a legitimately sick game released that are using NFTs. 100%.
I've been thinking, so gaming NFTs, music NFTs, all of that shit, first of all, hasn't really popped off yet. So there's definitely that. And we're also, like you're saying, 3rd inning. I think we're still sort of in the first iteration of types of NFTs where it's like no one's really gone out and evolved the content that is of NFTs yet. Like, it's still very one-dimensional. Obviously, there's like, 3D stuff coming out here and there, whatever, but it's still very much in the art world. And NFTs can essentially be anything, can it?
I mean, funny enough, today was the Coachella NFT drop.
Oh, yeah.
And it sold out instantly.
Yeah.
But those were just for, there's like that's not for tickets, but I do think that that's one of those things that you're saying where it's like at some point they will use it for ticketing. Or I was at NFT NYC and there was a talk on work on using it for resumes.
Oh, very
and like,
cool.
And it was like, this is such a good use case for NFTs because literally, and then as I thought about it more, like you could make a reference for someone and that reference could just be, that's just there. So you don't have to hit them up again or anything like that. Maybe they can expire after a few years or something, but like you can just be like, cool, like that's like almost, they call, I don't know how technical you are with blockchain, but it's a confirmation. In order for an Ethereum transaction to go through, you need a confirmation.
And you have to pay a lot of gas.
But those are confirmations of that person right there on the blockchain.
Right.
So, like...
That is a cool use case for it.
You just be like, okay, well, this person has this, this, and this. All right, boom. I don't have to necessarily have as many interviews as maybe I would have. I don't have to... There's no like... shadiness with who they are. They did go to Harvard or they didn't.
I love the direction of where NFTs are going. I love the content creation side of the NFT world. I feel like obviously that's where I thrive just in other industries. So I think there's a huge need for that, advisory roles, things like that. That whole side of NFTs, like the business aspect, is really fun to me. But on top of that, something that I just particularly love that really got my attention, because I'd heard about it obviously from you on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
But I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit until I went to my first NFT event in person. That's when I really realized, whoa, this is cool. Like, this is my shit. This is fun. The people in this space are great. It's about art. It's about community. It's about just having a good time all around. Everyone making money and everyone just enjoying themselves. And I liked that a lot. That really grabbed my attention.
Well, there's a few things to that, and sometimes it's like, maybe I feel a little repetitive because I say this so much on like different spaces, or it's just like it sounds so like posy vibes, but it's like that's the whole point of this, is that creators now are actually like, it's all in their hands. Like, I'm not necessarily a creator, but if you're an artist or a musician, or even like, you want to make a game, like, everything is now in your power. You can set the royalties. You can, like, you don't have to go through some like art house or record label or something or whatever it is. Like, you have the power. And what is also beautiful about PFPs, it's like, they're not all going to work. Like, Bored Ape was the first one to really like completely crush. But like, essentially it is growth hacking communities. And like, faster than anything can do before. Right. If you make a good PFP and you're like a doodle, all of a sudden it's just like, boom, overnight, like everyone, or the Azukis I'm sure you've seen around. Yeah.
Oh, my friend from Israel just messaged me about the Azukis. He told me to ask you, because I said I was having an NFT person come on. He's like, ask him why everyone loves these. What's happening with the Azukis?
Well, I can tell you very much. Well, so the specific reason, granted, they haven't done too much with like, I don't really know much about the roadmap or anything. And sometimes the roadmap doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Like, no one's looking at your roadmaps, guys.
I was literally joking with some NFT friends the other day. I was like, no one cares about your roadmap. That should just be
the roadmap is like MapQuest, okay? No one's using it. No one's looking at it.
Yeah, sure. And like, so Azuki, the character art like lead,
okay,
works for Overwatch, which is a Blizzard like fighting game.
Okay.
And Blizzard.
What do you mean Blizzard? Is that a company name?
Blizzard is a company.
Okay, I'm imagining in snow.
Like, okay,
people are fighting.
have you heard of
snow.
like World of Warcraft?
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, that's Blizzard.
Okay.
And like, they make great games. And granted, there's some like, they're having some,
internal issues,
internal Me Too issues or whatever. They just got bought up by Microsoft.
Okay.
But still, if you get someone of that caliber who is a character art lead, like they're making the art for the characters that are in that game, and then they come and make an NFT, like,
is Azuki a game?
No, but I'm just saying that like the art, we don't know exactly what it is entirely yet.
But
it's starting as a PFP, and if you look at the Azuki PFPs, it's very rare that you can, like, they evoke emotion. Like, it's hard to really just kind of look at one of these sometimes, like any, like, just like a random like cat, It's like, oh wow, I'm moved to tears.
Yes.
Nothing, but like these are like,
you're like, meow.
Yeah, like, oh man, that cat needs
so
milk.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just so
But like for these, it's like you really kind of like feel like you can kind of feel like some connected.
Yeah, you feel something.
And then also there's some like like Facebook or Google stuff, and they've also created like a different type of like token within the like Ethereum token. Cool. So I mean, it just kind of is like the perfect storm of like a good team with great art and a good community also. And I think some of the people like the guys heading it up are just like completely committed to it, and I'm
gonna write it out. I think that's really important with these projects, is that you have a team that's in it for the long haul, because you want the value to just continue to grow.
Like
some of these teams drop off the face of the earth after they've minted.
Did you see this whole thing with Mark Cuban?
No, talk to me about that. What the hell? That's at NFT, right? There's all this drama with them?
I haven't actually, like, I don't know. I wasn't in like any of the spaces, and I haven't read the complete thread. But the whole thing, seems to be happening is Mark Cuban, who like he's a proponent of NFTs. He's been on like and he likes crypto and stuff like that.
He co-owns at NFT on all these platforms.
I guess he like paid for the account because like, that's probably going to cost a lot of money to pay. But also he's probably not the dude that's manning the
I'm
the
sure
Twitter
he's
account.
not posting anything on that.
So I guess at some point these the NFT Twitter account or Instagram account would promote these projects that would pay them like $100K or something to just promote them. And I guess some of the companies would like, they would just kind of repeat like, oh, here's a cat that's 3D. Here's an ape. Here's this that's 3D. And they just keep churning out these projects that kind of get left in the dust after they mint out. And like, I guess NFT, account got suspended. And I think that's kind of the gist of it, but like,
wait. So essentially what your understanding of the situation is that they were just promoting projects and not doing their due diligence to see if that project was actually worth it.
Because they were just throwing money at them hand over foot, because they're just, maybe, they make one project, roll it over, pay $100K more or whatever, to do it. And it's, like, that's definitely like, there has to be some sort of, like level of quality, but man, that whole thing is coming an issue. Like whitelists, everyone's got to do something to get a whitelist because there's so many people in the space, and now it's like only 10,000 or to like even get in, and it's like, I don't really know what the fix is, and the fix may just be to have like higher collections. But now we're getting kind of in the nitty gritty. But
I mean, I think first of all, these jump through all the hoops for the whitelist to me is just so annoying because I don't have time for that shit. For sure not. But I understand the perspective of, well, it gives people the opportunity to, who wouldn't necessarily be able to get on whitelists otherwise. Yeah. So I mean, I hear the pluses and minuses. I think that there's such a diverse amount of projects right now that it's like those, you might have to jump through some hoops for some whitelists, but if you don't want to do that, then don't. There's a bunch of other projects that you might have different skills that are going to be able to get you a whitelist spot or whatever it is.
I agree. And also I think one big issue, or not issue, but gaming isn't completely there yet. And I think once gaming gets there, there's going to be a lot of people that are just like, this is my game that I'm playing, and I don't have to like, I'm not going to flip anymore. I'm just going to make money playing the game that I love. Like maybe, there's Parallel, which is an NFT card game. There's, the
Bad Cards Club. Have you seen that one? It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but NFT project. It's going to be cool.
But I never really like Cards Against Humanity, unfortunately.
Oh, no?
No.
It's not like Magic for you?
No, it's not.
No, it doesn't tingle that inner spark?
It does not. But, I just I would always get annoyed when some friend was like, we're going to play Cards Against Humanity tonight. Because I played it once and I was like,
what? It's a fun game. You don't like it?
They needed a better. No, I like the game of the game. Like I like what we're doing.
Right.
But I don't like the payoff. It's just like the way that you like whatever. Like the ending is just like.
Oh, because you don't make any money in this game? Is that what it is?
No, not that. It's just like there's no like real like winners. It's just kind of like a weird way to win. From what I remember.
Oh yeah. It's all like comedy perspective. So it's like, who do you think is the funniest?
Yeah, but I think it's like sometimes it's I forget like what the issue. There was like some sort of like
you like a game with a winner.
Yes, but I also like a game that's like I like what is happening in Cards Against Humanity, but it needs to still have good like game design in theory.
I think it's not. Yeah, I don't think it has good game design. I think the game design is just for people to have a good time and get drunk.
Yeah.
As opposed to for people to have a strategic time and
like
win.
So I'm like a hardcore gamer, so it's hard for me to really like,
You're like, I want the glory, and I want the glory to matter. I love that. All right, we've been going for so long, Adam. It's too long. We got to cut it off now. But just give us the where to find you, any resources.
Find me at Roothlus ROOTHLUS, and then
ROO, right?
ROO,
yeah.
And then on Instagram it's actually R00THLUS. I kind of screwed up there, but
also good to know.
Yeah, and then just find the LionShare Poker Discord, which is discord.com or discord.gg/LionShare Poker. Then that's kind of it. And on Twitter, I just kind of am active. Sometimes I talk about NFTs, a little poker, and just occasionally just throw out some random thoughts. Like yeah. You've got we have a great time. Tune in with us. We're going to be doing like beginners courses in the LionShare group, so that's going to be fun. And thanks for being my first in-person in studio guest. Yeah, this was great. This was super
fun. So much fun.